Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Wednesday edition? The Jason Wilde, what are you doing here?
Looks like you're eating donuts and fruit.
Edition. Yeah, it's kind of my go-to. Jesse brought the donuts, I brought the fruits. Edition. My goal for today, because we always say that our show sucks when we're together in person.
Who says that?
You do, for one.
No, you just annoy me. It's not that
Well,
show.
that may be why the show sucks. But we're together, and we're going to make the best of it. Edition. And the Bryan Bulaga. So it's still a regular Wednesday. It's just, by the way, I know you're an early riser because of your NFL career and your farm upbringing. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. And I was on the road by 5:15. I don't know how you do that. What time do you go to bed?
Why were you up so early?
Because I had to drive here. It's
It
2.5 hours from my house.
It doesn't take 3 hours to get here.
Well, I had to be here by 8 o'clock.
Well, thank you
Edition.
for your service.
You're welcome. I'm Wilde and Tausch.
I was not here by 8 o'clock.
No, train derailment or something. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison. Jackson Barbieri getting his fourth start for Florida. He's 1-1 with a 5.12 ERA.
no.
Can we turn that off? ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app. And speaking of apps, something interesting right around the corner. I don't know if I'm clear to tell anyone about that yet.
Nelly!
But it's very exciting. Streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or at least YouTube. And, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app for now. I'm Jason Wilde, normally in Green Bay. Instead, I am in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. So is Jesse Nelson. And so is the Packers Hall of Famer. It is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning.
Good to see you. So we have an 8 o'clock meeting this morning. You're 2.5 hours away, as you put it. Jesse's probably, 15, 20 minutes away.
22 minutes on the
And
average.
who do you think shows up 15 minutes late?
Well, given my track record for the filming of our Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin commercial, you would think it was me,
Yeah, I would have.
but I was here bright and early. I was
Well,
here by
no, I would have
7:43.
thought you would have gotten here early, but then went and had prep off to the side for 15 extra minutes.
Extra makeup time.
Indeed. But it is good to see you. I don't know what you're doing here, but I'm glad you're here.
Well, we've got the Tailgate Tour making a Madison stop. It made a stop in Milwaukee last night. I was there for the departure, the very chilly departure from Lambeau Field yesterday morning. They have a tour stop here later this afternoon. So I'm here for that. That's part of why I'm here, and part just so people realize that I'm not just some mysterious voice on the radio, that I actually do work here. It's nice to meet my teammates.
That is nice.
Like, there's a handful that I didn't know who they were.
Okay. That's good.
Which was kind of cool to go into a meeting and be like, oh, yeah, hey, nice to meet you, John.
And you are?
So, and Jesse decides to do Wilde and Tausch trivia in our full team meeting. Will that trivia be a part of the actual Wilde and Tausch
Such a
trivia?
good idea.
So great minds think alike. This is why we're all great together. I had the plan to do
Great
so.
seems strong on a number of levels.
This is
but
why
go
we're
ahead.
all pretty good together.
That's better.
Today is Geography Wednesday. Tier 1
Up
Tyler.
north, Joe?
Tier 1 Tyler wrote some questions last week. I promised him we would do geography
how about up
this
north, Joe?
week. Up North Joe just texted me saying, here's some questions if you guys.
All right.
We're good, Joe. Thanks, though. So I would like to use our Wilde and Tausch
You should,
trivia
because they're fun.
questions.
They're pretty good questions.
I think so, too. And I think our fans will know a lot of them.
Half of our team didn't have a clue that on most of it. Molly was the big winner.
Molly's
Molly's a
Brown.
great fan of
Who,
WT.
who, by the way, is like an integral part of what we do at ESPN Madison. Like, she is one of the MVTs, most valuable teammates. And she announced during the course of Wilde and Tausch trivia that she was an intern when the show started.
Yep.
So we've been doing this for a while.
It's been a while.
Indeed.
It's been a while.
I bet it feels even
Did
longer
we just
for
make you guys feel old today? Is that what happened in this meeting?
I've been feeling older lately anyways, and
your
today
knee?
was definitely we're getting old, which is good. It's good.
So basically, you've done your trivia work for Thursday and Friday then.
Yeah, I think we're set.
So there's you're a big fan of
Well,
that.
if Up North Joe's writing questions, I want at some point this week. Let's use Up North. Up North Joe's done a good job.
But Tier 1 Tyler has questions. Who you got to choose?
Well, today's
Who do you
Tier
want
1
him
Tyler,
from?
I think you said.
That's what I was going with,
yeah.
but now Joe just sent them. And I know you're a big fan of Up North Joe. I don't know if you're more a fan of Up North Joe than Tier 1 Tyler.
No, I'm a fan of Tier 1. He's my Tier 1 of your buddies, for sure.
How many of his other buddies have you experienced?
Seen him at his wedding. I
didn't do that.
I don't
Yeah,
know
we
a
did.
ton.
There's
Outside of that.
there's another meeting room here that has like a whiteboard on it, and among the things that are written on it is about how I didn't attend your wedding. Why is that still on the board? You've been married for like 3 years now.
That's the board that the interns write what they learned every week on it.
Oh, is that what that is?
I haven't looked at that board.
That's probably why. That's probably why people feel like you're unapproachable
Awkward.
and a jerk, quote unquote. Because
I didn't know they
it seems
thought I
like
was a
the
jerk.
propaganda around our office space might be that that's the case.
And well, we know who's feeding the propaganda machine then.
Should have come to the wedding. It's in your backyard.
Yeah, it was. I still feel good about my decision, and it allowed some of our fans to attend, which was a nice thing. So we are all together in one place. That does not happen very often. We will talk to Bryan Bulaga because it is a Wednesday. We will talk to Homer because it is a Wednesday. But I am here in person for the show and for the Tailgate Tour stop. Now, how many tailgate tours have you been on as a actual bus rider?
One.
One?
Yeah.
And how many years ago was that?
A long time ago. Probably 06, 07.
And was Rogers on the same
He
run?
was. Yes.
Because I sent a message to Bob Harlan, who you know I love. and
Bob was on there,
I
too.
know you and
Legend.
him very close.
Legend.
Mark Murphy was telling the story yesterday before they left about his first one on the tailgate tour was 2008, and they used to do it later in the off season. It was in July, and
A lot
literally
tougher to get players in July.
and the day that it departed was the day that I don't know if it was when Favre was on. Was it Letterman where he said he's got the itch to play again?
Was that Greta?
Maybe it was Greta. That's a good point. But he was remembering how at every stop then there was a throng of media, and we know he enjoys the media, especially me. But how different it is now that he's touring. But he was with Bob Harlan, and Bob Harlan was kind of showing him the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed Policy is not on the tour because they felt like with the draft coming, it would probably
Somebody
be best.
should be up
Somebody
there.
should stay home.
Yeah.
So Ed Policy is still there. But there is a tour stop here in Madison tonight. You are going to be doing a little Q&A thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like last year I did something, it was in Sun Prairie, and it was more fan-related, which is what I'm going to do tonight, too. This is not – I am not looking at this from I'm going to go up and interview.
Sure.
I want the fans. I go out and you try to have a little bit of fun, not going to break down, what they should do or what Mark Murphy feels like their red zone offense should look like and any of the highly critical things that you say about Mark. But it should be fun. I know I know Josh Jacobs was, I think initially I was excited to I had not met Josh Jacobs, so that was unfortunately something must have come up, and he's not going to be there.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation for that. I know that we are all wired to think, oh, well, there must be something.
I would not in this case.
I know, but
if it was
I think
training
people
camp,
do wonder.
yeah, people do. But this is always fun. And when I was on with Vinny and Eric this morning on WTMJ, they were asking, and I think this is one of the things that does separate what the Packers do compared to other teams. This was, I think, a really smart idea, and I thought that at the time when I went on it. And it gets, your alumni to kind of meet some of the current players, which I think is a really cool deal. And then you get, and I know they've kind of gotten where it's now Milwaukee, Madison a lot. We went to up to Michigan, and we were up in Poplar, Wisconsin, way up north, and
Were
over
you popular
by Duluth.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Up in Duluth, and that's where I think we did some karaoke singing. I don't know if guys are still going out and ripping it up. We went out and ripped it up a little bit when we were
Including
up
Bob Harlan?
We had Bob out for a little bit. Bob is more reserved, but Bob could. I'll tell you, Bob has a great sense of humor.
He does.
A great sense of humor. We had a great time on that trip, and so I think to get around and showcase to the state, being over in the western part of the state that I think a lot of times doesn't get the same amount of attention, obviously, as the Fox Valley and Madison and Milwaukee. I think this is a cool deal, and I don't know if there's still tickets available, but it goes for a great cause, and they raise a ton of money, and it stays locally in these areas. So it's a cool deal, and if it's at the Garver Feed Mill tonight.
Garver Feed Mill is where it is. Yes.
Every time I hear the Garver Feed Mill, I think I got to get my shovel out and I got to start shoveling oats. Because we had a feed mill back at the farm that we had oats and corn, and we'd have to, if it was we got to unload the harvest, we got to get it into the deal, and we got to get the corn.
Silos?
No, it's the bins. We'd have to get the bins, then it'd elevate it up, and then we'd have to shovel it so you'd get it into the back corners and you'd fill the granary. That's what I think of feed mill, and I don't think that's what this is. This is more pizza and some other food and wedding venues.
Yeah,
it should be a nice little deal.
It's a really nice event space. They do the indoor farmers market in Madison during the winter at the Garver Feed Mill.
Well, there you go.
That's where it is. Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the way you look to Jesse for answers.
What do you mean?
Well,
I didn't ask Jesse for answers.
Well, no, you kind of gave him a look like I don't know if tickets are still available. And,
because that's his MO.
Well, but
he has. I have my brother and his kids are coming tonight. I was thinking I got to get my tickets from Jesse to do this. So I'm assuming he knows the ticket situation.
I got a whole stack of papers for you.
There you go.
I just thought the idea of Jesse having that fact, I was skeptical.
He's been the one that's been like, hey, so can you do this? Jesse has been very persuasive on this whole thing.
Question for you, because I bragged about how I know my guy yesterday afternoon when I was...
Who's my guy?
You, when I was getting a little ridiculed. Are you a paper ticket guy, or would you have preferred me to send them to you on your phone?
What do you think?
I got a whole stack of papers for you.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Wait, what kind of conversation were you in where you proclaimed, I know my guy?
Oh, I said I need the stapler. We have one stapler in our entire office. I said I need the stapler because I got to put all of Tausch's tickets together that he's got for this thing. And they said, why are you printing them? Why don't you just forward them to him? I said, I know my guy. He's going to want some paper tickets.
It's true.
He ain't wrong.
But you've made the conversion
I
for
have.
when
I
you go
don't
to
like
Bucks
it.
games.
I don't like it. But it is what it is, and you either deal with it or you don't. And if you want to go to things and be a part of society, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do.
The Garver Feed Mill, which is at 3241 Garver Green in Madison. The event starts at 6 p.m. It will be benefiting Dairyland Sports. That's the charitable endeavor that is supporting. The Tailgate Tour has a few stops this morning. In fact, right now, they are at the Milwaukee Fisher House for Veterans Families, making a stop there in Milwaukee. And then they've got a food bank they're stopping at in Waukesha. They'll stop at Waukesha County Technical College, and then they'll make their way to Madison. And then from there, tomorrow they've got a stop in Prairie du Sac at maybe a place with a blue roof. Mauston High School. So lots of things going on.
Fun.
And you really, in all seriousness, you really enjoyed this. Like beyond Bob Harlan's sense of humor and ripping it up on an occasional night. And Rogers would have been a second-year player, had not played at that point. Like, how did that play during the tour?
It was interesting, to say the least, because people still were enamored, but not to the degrees that they would be now or in the past. So it was probably pre-social media phases. There was we went out and we thought it was going to be like a pretty slow Tuesday night, and it ended up being an absolute blank show. And I'm not going to get into details.
Hard to get up for the charitable event the next morning?
Let's say that bus ride was an early kick, and it was like 9 o'clock. So it was, but that was the fun of it. Especially if you get into like college towns and you're out and about. It was just I think it's a really unique and fun thing to get because it is a state. Obviously, it's a national team, but this state loves the G&G. And I think the Packers do a good job of trying to spread out as far as they can on these tours to give back to these communities and to do it. I do. It's fun, but I'll say this: it's a drainer too. That's a lot of events that you're talking about over a 4 or 5 day period of time. It is a lot.
According to this, that was the inaugural tailgate tour in 2006.
That could be.
Wow, you're an OG, an
Wow.
OTT. T's an
didn't
old
know.
TT.
I don't know if there were any alumni. I think it was me, A-Rod, and Nick Barnett.
I mean, you could do worse than that 3.
You made stops in. I need to correct myself. It was you were 2007, so you were not in the original.
We were not in the original. Good.
You made Tausch, Bob Harlan, Nick Barnett's team president in waiting, John Jones, and Aaron Rodgers made stops in Superior. So that was a long bus ride.
One of the great sister cities, Twin Cities.
Eau Claire,
Yep.
Madison, and Racine.
There you go.
So there's a stop in McFarland in there. Kevin Barry replaced you in Racine.
Yeah, I couldn't finish. I couldn't
We
finish.
had to go to the
No,
pen
I
in
had-
Racine.
Go to the left-hander.
I could not have done the tailgate tour. I had somewhere I had to be. I think that's second to last day. So that was all agreed upon beforehand.
Okay.
FYI.
So was he like waiting at like a train station?
No, he met us in
Racine?
Madison. We ended up going down to a fishbowl joint in town.
Oh, sure.
And we
Yeah.
met up, and then that's where we transferred.
And he's a Racine guy, so that made sense.
It was perfectly
Yeah,
sensible. yes.
Exactly. All right, well, Kevin Barry's a Racine guy. You are a Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin guy.
I am, and there's a lot of buzz about the draft up in Green Bay, but you're not going to see a draft seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now you can take advantage of no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can match your home's unique decor through seamless customization. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends April 30th. So place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
So, Jesse, I don't want a reputation for being high maintenance. It may be too late.
Yeah.
Can I sit somewhere else?
Sure.
Like I feel close to you. I've always felt close to you. We've had a long time connection. But like from actual proximity, like is this where people
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Those are farther away though. I kind of like the idea of being a little farther away.
You are in the standard seats that hosts sit in when they are doing
So
shows
when-
together.
Well,
in the
you know
studio.
what? Go sit out there. That could be fun. Then the reverse cam, sit where Hunter is, and then the reverse cam could get you. Hunter could come and do his work in here, and maybe then we'll break the jinx of in-person.
Bad
We're not
shows,
in
yeah.
spot.
Okay.
You're just going to kick him off the show?
I'm not kicking
Like,
him off.
There's no
He doesn't-
microphone out there.
He doesn't want to sit here. Well, he can use his app and do it that way.
No.
No, he can.
He can. We're not going to have him on the phone.
Why don't
app
you
like
go
he's
back
at
there with
training
Jesse?
camp.
I
Yeah,
can-
let's try.
I
You can
can-
run
Yeah,
the
sit
board.
back
Yeah.
with Jesse.
sure.
That could be
Yeah,
really
I don't
fun.
know which buttons
and
to
then
hit.
you hit buttons, and you're just blah, blah.
He's a complicated fella.
All right. I just meant either
All right,
one of
so
those seats.
I want to.
Oh,
as
you're going
Ja-
to tease us out,
As
are you?
Jason figures out where he's going to sit the rest of the show, I'm going to figure out if I do have to MC and ask questions. What is the question that you really want answered from Mark Murphy? What would you want? We'll ask Jason that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, a place I've loved going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. Man, I loved Pizza Hut back then, and I love creating new Pizza Hut memories with my family now. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you can get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. That's a lot of ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Get a sneak peek at the 2025 Wisconsin football team. Join us April 19th for Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase presented by UW Credit Union. The day kicks off with the Coles Kids Combine, followed by Badgers Open Practice at noon, featuring new faces like quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. and offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. After practice, head to the field for photos with Badgers student-athletes. Tickets are $5 and free for football season ticket holders, UW students, and kids under 12. Claim your tickets for the Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase at uwbadgers.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited's showroom on Stoughton Road is absolutely a must-see. Nobody builds a better backyard better than Outdoor Living Unlimited. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, fire pit, and in-ground pool. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in building the new deck. Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. Looking for a backyard hardscape design? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing Madison showroom. Visit our open house on Saturday, April 19th from 9 to 1 p.m. and meet the team. Or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
We're on the Badgers.
The expectations for Badger basketball that I have to let go of was the Bo Ryan expectation.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And that's not Greg Gard's fault. That's the NCAA's fault.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. I don't
What do you think, Jesse? Is it an upgrade? I can look at him now.
What, you can't turn your head to the right?
Well, it's just awkward. It's like sitting on the same side in a booth.
So you're
schmoopy.
So you're kind of saying whoever designed the studio butchered it, is what you're kind of telling me.
No, they have 4 seats. Why do they choose to sit there?
Who's they?
Whoever does a show in here. Jim, Matt, and Molly. Where does Molly sit?
She actually sits over there by the basketball hoops.
No, she sits like where you're sitting, or in this other chair over here.
Right.
No, you're not. This looks awful.
What do you mean?
That's goofy, but
hang on.
Hey, whatever you want to do, Jason.
Well, I got a better view of this Florida State showdown in college baseball.
So what are you asking Mark Murphy tonight? I don't think us breaking down the different angles of where the studio shots should be.
Whatever you'd like to discuss.
What
Mr.
are you asking
Tauscher.
Mark Murphy?
Now, I'm not actually asking him.
Well, I don't know yet because I know our friend Jeffrey from Celebrations is going to be there.
I was just texting with him yesterday.
And I think he kind of, he's a big MC. He does all this stuff, for, weddings and everything else. So my plan is I'm just going to be the guy out in the crowd, taking fans' questions and then interjecting and maybe following up. I'm a follow-up
with
guy.
your witty repartee that you're so good at.
Yeah. So I would think if you're there, I think we put you up there with Jeffrey, and I want you asking Mark Murphy the question you want.
Yeah, I got to get back to Green Bay. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to stay.
That's what I thought.
Plus, let's be honest. Like Mark and I had a very cordial, friendly exchange yesterday as they were getting ready to depart. I still don't think he likes me though, so I don't think I want to ruin a great signature event by putting him in a bad mood by asking him what I would ask, which is, why do you insist on raising season ticket prices every single year, especially this year by $7 to $21? And have you considered the possibility that you're getting more and more opposing fans in the stadium because of where the prices are?
Well, Jason, we're just trying to keep even with. We're just trying to keep.
That's exactly what he would say. We're trying to stay in the middle.
We're trying to stay in the middle, even though I don't think it is in the middle, right? We're top. We're a little higher end than that, right?
I believe so. That's why they didn't put out that information this year, I think. Look, I don't want that to be contentious, but I would say the same thing to Ed Policy when he takes over, and I'd love to have an answer beyond we just try to stay in the middle of the pack.
Sure.
Because look, your head coach has frequently commented on, we got the best fans. Mark Murphy said it again yesterday. But I can tell you from having covered this team as long as I have, Mark Murphy, not Tausch,
sure,
that
we're going to Chippewa Falls.
That was pretty good.
There are far more swaths of opposing colors nowadays than there was even 10 years ago. You can't argue that, I believe. So that would be my question. Are you looking for softballs? Because I've been told, especially in the YouTube comments, that I ask a lot of softball questions. Do you want easy questions, or do you want fans that are at this thing to ask him?
I'm not going to ask him about the economics of ticketing and everything else.
I know you're not.
I don't think you would either.
I would ask that question, sure.
Okay, you're going to be put on the spot.
I'm not going to be there.
If you're going to be there, you will be put on the spot.
Now I'm.
You know what? I'll just say my co-host
Jason wants
to know why you keep raising ticket prices,
and then you'll get your answer about middle of the road, and then you guys can move on to the next question. So you want you're crowdsourcing a little bit in case you have to ask questions. Is this
no? If I have to ask questions, I'll be fine. But I prefer, especially in these events, this is about fans.
Right.
It's not about
totally agree.
So that's
with
what we'll end up doing tonight.
Well, I would still be curious what our fans would ask if given the opportunity.
Sure.
Because look,
we all agree if there was not an age limit, Mark Murphy would continue to be the president moving forward.
I would think so, yeah.
No, I don't even think it's a think. I would almost guarantee it. Why would you, at this point in his life, you think he wants to give this job up?
Well, so I don't know enough about his marriage, but I do think that people, when you get older, you'd like to spend more time with the people you love, too, right? And that's not necessarily like running a business. Like if he was the owner, and he said his wife jokes with him that he's a phoner. which I think is either full owner or fake owner. But it's not like he's the billionaire who then can just let the place run itself, and he can walk in once in a while and shake hands and say hello to people, right?
Yeah.
So he is doing a lot of the work still of being the president. I don't know. Like when you're 70 years old, don't you want to be able to spend more time with Sarah and the kids and maybe your grandkids? Maybe he does want to be just done with it. But
I would say there's no way.
He could keep doing it.
Yeah, I would say there's no way.
There's no way he wants to retire.
No.
He's being forced to retire.
100%. Yeah, now, if there's some health things or other things that we don't know about, maybe I would disagree. But I think Mark Murphy, he has said numerous times, the best job on earth. And I would argue he's probably not far off. That is a great job that he has. And he's done a very good job in that job. Now, some people might disagree. You can't.
I don't disagree.
You can't disagree that he's hired good people and you've been in position. I know there's people you haven't won a championship. I get it, but he's done a really good job, and I don't think there'd be a way in blank if he didn't have to. He would go until he'd go at least another 3 or 4 years. I'd almost guarantee it.
I think Bob Harlan would have too.
I agree. Because they waived that age to let the process work out, right?
Yeah, they had to because John Jones had a medical. Well, they needed somebody to run the team, and the guy that was supposed to had a major medical situation. So Bob stayed on longer, just in time to enjoy the challenges of the Brett Favre transition of power. All right, so you can 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. If Tausch called on you tonight at the tour stop of the Tailgate Tour, what would you ask Team President Mark Murphy? I do want to get into some of the things that Tucker Kraft said, not just about pickleball. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show as well, but we want to get to Bryan Bulaga, which means Tausch needs to tell us about Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
And Blue's an Illinois guy. I bet he's probably would love to come down with us to the Hard Rock Casino in Rockford. New casino features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, oh, baby, guests can enjoy diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe. Council Oak Steaks, ooh, that sounds great, and seafood. Bricked Italian kitchen, the Noodle Bar, street tacos, and constant grind. Hard Rock Casino. You just head down now. You're heading towards Chicago. Big, beautiful blue and yellow. There's a purple and yellow big guitar off to the left-hand side of the road, and you see that casino. It just looks beautiful. Pop on over there. Have some fun. It's a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
Bryan Bulaga joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Brought to you by Verizon. Experience the draft in Green Bay with a Road to the Draft sweepstakes powered by Verizon. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for official rules and details.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply and sport 30/20/25.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when
you know what that music means. It is time
He's
for...
an old tailgater. He tailgated last year.
He did.
Bummer, I'm not going to see. Blue, you coming up tonight or not?
Bryan Bulaga, Iowa. Hi, Brian.
How's it going?
He's in that picture of all the current and former Packers that were on the tour, and Jesse.
Yeah, it's a staple.
It's a classic.
I'm guessing Jesse will jump in there tonight, too.
I would assume so. Well, they've got an opening without Josh Jacobs in attendance. Brian, what's going on down in Florida?
Not much. Not much. Just a regular sunny day down here in the Sunshine State. Nothing too much happening.
Well, we'd love it if you were here for tonight's tailgate tour stop. We were just reminiscing about Tausch's tour stop back in 2007 when he and Aaron Rodgers were on the trip. How many times have you done the tailgate tour?
That was my first last year when I wasn't even a player. Yeah, that was my first invite.
Hey, Blue, it was fun. Let's be honest about the tailgate tour from a player standpoint. It's fun, but it's long. Fair?
Yeah, from a player standpoint, I can see it. Yeah, I mean that I could from doing it as a non-player, seeing it from a player standpoint. That's a long deal. Like that's a I don't mind the stop.
Are you concerned the team might be listening?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm not going to, I don't think it's, I think when you hit certain places and see kids and do that, I think that's a great thing. And
No
you
doubt.
get to, and do all those things, and then you hit military bases and you get to see those folks and speak to them. I think that's great. Some of the Q&As later towards the evening get a little redundant, right?
Especially
you get a lot of
one
the
in
same
Sun
questions.
Prairie last year was really long and tough.
Well, that's because they had a questionable character handling the MC duties.
The MC for that one was fantastic.
There we go.
But,
all right, Blue.
Sometimes, yeah. But besides, I mean, it's a good thing. But like for the player
It's long.
standpoint, if you're an active player, it's just a long few days. We'll just put it that way.
5 days, a lot of events. It's long.
In a bus.
And you're going to learn a lot about your former teammates and your teammates, and some of it's good, some of it is interesting to say the least. All right, so Blue, one of the things that we discussed earlier was this idea that the offense can run through tight ends. Are you a believer that you can be a really good offense if your number one weapon is your tight end?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can happen. I think we've seen instances of it through history of, the league. Obviously, the Chiefs are the most, recent example of it with Kelsey. How they've kind of run their offense recently has been through him. He has it. I mean, obviously last year, he's starting to slow down a little bit. Obviously, that's just age. And they're going to have to find new ways, the Chiefs, but that's not the case for the Green Bay Packers right now. Tucker Kraft is not even in his prime yet, right? He's still finding a certain level of his game, which is still ascending, in my opinion. I think Tucker Kraft can be, an amazing tight end in this league. He's still finding, where, his potential. And then, you look at other instances. I think Jimmy Graham with the Saints, I think he was probably their best offensive player when he was playing in New Orleans, when that was rolling. Obviously they had weapons in New Orleans at the time, but Jimmy Graham was like the biggest threat on that team. You looked at the way Drew Brees threw to him. It was the biggest threat. I think you look at the way Antonio Gates was with the Chargers for a long time. That was a really good connection. So there's instances of it throughout, history of it. But I think you look at they can do it with the tight end in the run game. It certainly can be that way. But you're all those instances also have help from the wideouts, right? Like the wideouts have to be able to contribute. Like if we look at the Chargers instance, they had great wide receivers with like Keenan and guys that were there throughout, those earlier times with Antonio Gates. And obviously the Saints had good receivers as well. And so while we can run it through potentially Tucker Kraft, the wide receivers need to step up. They need to play well. They need to hold up their end of the bargain, and they need to take some of that pressure off just the tight end room if that's the way the offense is going to run.
Brian, can it be like the Patriots? And I know we don't bring this up because of the
or the
story.
Patriots, you're right.
Right.
You're right, the Patriots.
The story that obviously what becomes of Aaron Hernandez, obviously, it's kind of like talking about Darren Sharper. Like, we just don't talk about those players anymore, even though they had NFL careers. The way their lives turned, people are always uncomfortable bringing them up, including me. But I don't know how you don't talk about having two tight ends and can't talk about Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, because that's how Bill Belichick ran his offense.
I can't even. Yep. I was going to ask who would be whom in that. Is that not you can't ask that question? Right?
I'm going to kill that question.
Well, Tucker would be like Gronk, correct?
Yeah,
he would be, but I don't know.
And I'm not going to go down any
Luke
further.
Wants to be the other guy.
I'm not going to ask that part of the question.
But here's the interesting thing about that, and when you look at their numbers during that era, they were obviously critical parts of the offense, right? Aaron Hernandez, 51 catches 1 year. Gronkowski had 55. Another year, Gronkowski had 42. Aaron Hernandez had 45. But, in those years, they also had Wes Welker catch 122 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
You need to – and I think the point, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, you can have great tight end production, but it's a lot easier to slow down tight ends. Now, it's matchups and everything else. But if you want to put a ton of resources into slowing a tight end down, especially an inline tight end, you can body them up, you can roll coverage. You have to have some wideouts that can make plays to help that tight end elevate to being that guy. So I don't think there's any doubt right now Tucker Kraft is the most proven pass catcher weapon in this group. But that doesn't mean he can still be that, but it doesn't mean he needs to be. I don't want him leading the team in catches. I want him leading in explosives and maybe touchdowns, red zone threat. But to Blue's point, you need somebody out of that receiving group to step up and be maybe not a Wes Welker type, but at least someone that is 70, 75 catches.
Like Jaden Reed could be in that role, right, Brian?
Yeah, I think so. And you can't have the tight end lead the team in receptions like that. It can't be the case, right? Like as good as those two guys were, like you said, Hernandez and Gronk, they were not leading the team in receptions. It can't be the case. And Tausch said it. There's ways that take away the tight end from easy throws like that. Like you looked at the way Welker and Edelman and those guys got open. Like easy throws over the middle, like quick, easy slants, easy hitches, and Brady would find those guys and they would make hay after that, right? And if you did that enough and you made those simple throws and those guys got open, things opened up for the tight ends through the seam, right? Because they focused so much coverage on the outside and simple things over the middle, the seam routes would open up because the safeties started biting down hard on those routes and the seams opened up. They just naturally do. So like, your wideouts have to give you production in order for your tight ends. If that's, your super talented ones, I mean, everyone has to play their part in order for other guys to be successful. I mean, that's the way offense works. Everyone has to sacrifice something for someone else to get, their piece of, their share, right? I mean, and that's just the way it goes. And especially in the route tree, right? Someone has to run their route in order for someone else to get open. And that's the way these things work. But in the wideout room, there definitely needs to be production from Reed and Wicks and Dobbs. Like these guys, I mean, I think they can do it, but we certainly need to see them step up and elevate their game so that we can't see that type of production from, Kraft and Musgraves, out of that group.
Well, let's talk a little more about Musgrave, though, because when we talked to Tucker yesterday before the tailgate tour left, both he and Musgrave spent the entire offseason in Green Bay, which is not commonplace. And we know what Tucker Kraft is now. Like, I don't think we prematurely have crowned him. I'm not putting him ahead of George Kittle and the other really good tight ends yet, but I think we know that he's capable of being that. I don't know what to think of what Luke Musgrave is currently, right? He got off to a strong start as a rookie. He was obviously a critical part of what they were doing offensively. Then he lacerates his kidney against your old team, the Chargers, and he misses a ton of time, comes back late in the year, but not a lot of, he's basically a decoy. Last year, he had a really quiet training camp. Like, all we talked about was Tucker Kraft. I remember being on the sideline and talking to you guys, and
you talked more Chipotle Ben than you did Musgrave.
Yeah. And then he suffers the ankle injury, and then he's out for 10 games, and he comes back late in the year, and there's not much there either. And he was such a high buzz guy, right? Oh, he runs 28 miles an hour or whatever it was during training camp that year.
That seems a bit fast.
21 maybe.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for him? Because if we're going to make the Patriots of the early 2010s comp, there has to be a second guy, and it can't be Chipotle Ben. It needs to be Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it a little difficult to judge him. I mean, obviously the lacerated kidney is like a freak thing. Like,
Sure.
I mean, how can you? I mean, that's
I don't even know how that happens. How does that happen?
Yeah, like I have no idea how that happened. I mean, that's got to be a nasty hit to get one of those. Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah, but what cuts it?
I think I don't. I have to look
A
up
rib,
my
maybe?
story. But
I don't
rib
know.
cuts it?
No, so
I have no
I
idea.
I know when there's not like it's not like it actually like goes through the skin and you're.
Well, if you say
lacerating,
lacerate, something is sliced.
Correct. That's the phrase that doctors used about his kidney. Not a bruise, a laceration. So it caused it to burst open. Now, it could also be like when Randall Cobb had to go to the hospital in Arizona when he landed on the battery pack for the microphone that was in his pads. He landed on his back, and that caused his lung to be punctured.
That I can understand and visualize. I don't know how you lacerate a kidney, though.
I think the sheer force of the hit is what caused it to split.
Is that right?
And he didn't know it. Like it hurt, but it wasn't until he got home and was peeing blood that he was like, maybe I need to go have this checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
That's why you're the doctor of football right there.
Yeah, that would be an issue. That caused me some concern as well. But I think from his standpoint, it's a little hard to judge because we haven't really been able to see him from a full potential standpoint, right? Like see him actually get a full complement of reps in live game form where he's actually like fully healthy, right? And it's kind of the same way I look at like how I talk about Jordan Morgan, like and how I can kind of get a beat on him. Like I don't know, I can't speak on it too much, but I have to assume by hearing how people have spoke about Musgrave and the talent he has that there's a lot of potential there. And I get potential only goes so far, right? Like you can only speak about potential. You have to see potential actually play out and show itself. But from the standpoint of people are very positive about him within the building when you hear people speak, right? In pressers and things like that, people are positive about him. So like, I just have to go based off of that and assume that if he gets his opportunities and he's able to stay healthy, that he's going to be a positive contributor to the offense. And, do I think he's going to get more action than Tucker Kraft? No, I don't. I think Tucker Kraft, he is a true 3-down tight end. I think he blocks really well. And obviously we all know he catches the ball really. I don't think Musgraves is really that type of blocker that we see from Tucker Kraft. Now, does that mean Musgraves can improve on that? Yeah, he certainly can. That's certainly something he can improve on.
Well, he's going to have to play. He's going to have to play.
If they want to be a 2 tight end set, right? If they want to go to that way more, then he's got to improve on that. Like that's something you have to be better at. But at the end of the day, like if you want to have 2 guys on the field, he's going to have to be the guy that does it unless they draft someone that they love, right?
Warren.
Unless you find
Warren.
Unless you find another Tucker Kraft somewhere in the draft, right?
Blue,
like that's the way it goes.
Blue, how much do you think he can run 12 personnel? Like to me, this would be if I want to go up tempo and keep a defense on the field, I'm going to run 12. I'm just going to go. And that's where you can get flexibility and spread guys out and maybe give some different looks. But realistically, if you have wideouts that you should believe in, right? That guys, because it was all last year, who are going to be the 3 wideouts? And now I think you're going to have a serious conversation, depending how training camp goes, of if, let's say, Musgrave takes this big jump. He's been up there all off season. He's going to be healthy, and he is somebody that you have to find to get on the field. Kraft is not coming off the field. We know that. How much realistic 12 personnel, which is back 2 tight ends, can you actually run in an NFL? Like, where do you think that percentage would lie?
I think you could run a lot of it because just because you have 12 on the field doesn't mean you have to have 2 tight ends next to the tackles, right? You can split these guys out. You can do different things with them. LaFleur is very creative with it. I mean, you can line Musgraves out in the slot. You can do different things with these guys and show different looks to the defenses. All in that, leave defenses in base personnel, which is a very advantageous to what LaFleur probably wants to do in certain looks, right? And given certain situations. Like if you can get mismatches with maybe you want Tucker Kraft on linebackers, or you want Musgrave on linebackers, like that's what you want, right? Like you want those guys being guarded by linebackers because they can beat them consistently one-on-one in coverage. So you want to do up-tempo and 12 so you keep those guys on the field, right? And maybe you get good looks in the run game because if you do like, put those guys out wide and you're able to,
and you run on them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So you're able to do different things with it. So I could see them running a lot of it if it ends up being their best personnel, personnel grouping, and Musgraves is performing at the level that we all think he can. Yeah, I mean, I think you can run a lot of it because I think you can get defenses in iffy situations. Because then if defenses decide we're going to run nickel to this, then you just run him to death. You know what I'm saying? Then you just run the ball with Jacobs and you run him to death in it, and that's just the nature of it.
I'm going to see what else I can get Bryan to say that I can use in a channel3000.com story. Boy, did he basically did all the writing for me on my.
He did.
Yeah, he did. I mean, all I did, I just had to transcribe what he said, but he was insightful about the challenges that are facing Rasheed Walker. We'll get more of his insight on other topics next after Tausch tells us about his love for Coors Light.
Coors Light is brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill in those mountains. Oh, those mountains. Make sure they are blue. That's when you know Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans are chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
More with Bryan Bulaga next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Powered today by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. Visit Verizon at the Draft Experience on April 24th through 26th in Green Bay.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Draft day on the horizon. ESPN's Mel Kiper stopping by Wilde and Tausch, breaking down the draft class. The longtime analyst with his thoughts on multiple Badgers, including Hunter Woolard. So, Mel, where could the Muskego safety land?
I think he goes day 3. It just depends upon whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th round area. I liked him at Wisconsin. Obviously, a really good player. He tackles well. He's got a chance in the NFL. We thought Jim Leonard come out of his program, and there we gave him a shot. Look what Jim Leonard developed into. Overall, I think you look at where Woolard will go. I'd like to say somewhere mid to late day 3.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to VintageBrewingCompany.com to make a reservation today. That's VintageBrewingCompany.com.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get a sneak peek at the 2025 Wisconsin football team. Join us April 19th for Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase, presented by UW Credit Union. The day kicks off with the Coles Kids Combine, followed by Badgers Open Practice at noon, featuring new faces like quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. and offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. After practice, head to the field for photos with Badgers student-athletes. Tickets are $5 and free for football season ticket holders, UW students, and kids under 12. Claim your tickets for the Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase at uwbadgers.com.
Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment, and here's another great fundraising event in Madison.
The 4th annual Bridge to Brighter benefit concert is back Friday, April 25th at the Majestic Theater. Join us for an unforgettable night featuring the soulful sounds of J.R. Diz and the electrifying Mo Soul Collective. All proceeds support youth aging out of foster care, helping them build a brighter future. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now and visit bridgetobrighter.org for details.
I will see you there.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none.
We roll on with Bryan Bulaga. I will not ask him to do my work for me, although I know he's an avid reader of channel3000.com.
Blue, great teammate.
He is a great teammate. You played with him, now you work with him.
So, Blue, I have, and this kind of just came to me because I've been a Goody stan, and I'm not sure where I think you think Brian Gutekunst has done a really good job, but I've had some internal kind of back and forth about how good of a job he's done, and we've had some fans call in that have brought up some really good points. But I just want to ask you this. You came in 2010. You won a championship your first season. Was there ever a season that you didn't think you could win a championship when you were in Green Bay?
Ooh. Yeah.
There was. Which seasons did you feel like it ain't happening? I'm talking about in the off season, leading into training camp. There were seasons you're like, it's not happening this year.
It felt like it. I told Jason this in 2018. It just didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right.
You missed it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? Was it the coaching? What made you feel that way?
No, it had nothing to do with the coaching either. And obviously that was the year Coach McCarthy got fired with 4 games left. There was just something about and obviously I was coming back from an ACL. So as the offseason program was going on, obviously I didn't do OTAs. So I wasn't out there with the team practicing during OTAs and that period of time. I was still inside with Nate and Flea rehabbing and doing all that. So I didn't get to really, get that vibe. I only got it when I went out there and started practicing late in training camp. I got out there and it just felt that and I can only speak from an offensive perspective because I don't play defense and that's not really my thing. It just didn't feel right. And normally, Tausch, you know this, offense takes a while to get clicking in camp, no matter what. The offense could be a phenomenal offense. It could be a top 5 offense at the end of the season. But no matter what, in training camp, the offense always starts a little bit slower, right? And it takes the offense a minute to get going. Well, this is probably week 3 or week 4 in camp. And the offense it didn't seem like anything was going correct. And it just seemed off. And it didn't seem like we would take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And it was just a constant, we were fighting ourselves, trying to get things going. And it just felt like everything felt wrong about what we were doing. And it played out that way throughout the season. And you could tell, or at least the way, and I'm not speaking for anyone, I'm just speaking for myself. I felt going into that season it's going to be very hard for us to get to a Super Bowl this year. It's going to be it doesn't feel like we have the same juice that we had, say, even in 2017. We didn't even get to a Super Bowl that year. Or in 2016, where we made the run all the way to the NFC Championship after losing like 6 straight and then winning 9 straight to get all the way to the NFC Championship game. Like, it just didn't feel like we had the same juice. So, like, that's the way I felt in 2018 in going into training camp and going into the season, that it just didn't feel right. And unfortunately, it ended up turning out that way. And, you know, I always blame the players. Like, maybe that's all our fault, that mindset crept in, and it crept in so early that we couldn't change that. And it's not like pointing fingers at one guy or one group or one side of the ball or whatever it may be. It just, and I don't know what happens, right? Like, I don't know what happens throughout, you know, a season or through a training camp, that those kind of things happen, but it never happened to me in my time. Like, I've never felt that way going into a training camp with the Green Bay Packers. Like, every time I went into a training camp, it was like, we can win this whole damn thing.
Yep.
And I feel that way like 100%. And that one, it just felt off, and ended up, you know, the way it ended up.
Yeah, and I had the same feeling in 2005 after we lost Marco and Mike Wall. And it was, you know, the new coaching staff. There was a lot of things that was still with Mike Sherman his last season. But there is that feeling. But the reason I ask is because I always felt like if I had Brett or if we had Aaron under center, I always felt like we had a chance to win a championship. And all of this urgency talk and, well, Goody hasn't done enough to bring – we always want to see guys, but Ted didn't bring people in. And there was never, like in 13, 14, 15, 2012, there was never a time, well, we didn't do enough in the offseason to get it. It was, we got Aaron, we got Jordy, we got our group, we can do it. And I'm just wondering how much of this, because this is about as blasé as I've kind of felt like some of our fans, not all, some fans feel, because we asked last week, is this team a Super Bowl contender? And almost everybody's like, no, we're not. We haven't gotten better. And I think a lot of it is, I don't know how much confidence there is that Jordan Love can elevate and be that guy that he was at the end of the 23 season. Because if he plays like he did last season, which was not bad, but it was not consistent, is it more about Goody not bringing players in, or is it that Jordan hasn't established himself as that guy that can elevate the whole group? How would you view that?
So that's a phenomenal question, by the way, because there's multiple answers that I want to answer on that. So for the first, I'm gonna go to the one part about not getting better. I think the team got better. They brought in,
I do too,
you know, a corner that I think was a necessary guy to bring in. I think, now again, I played in the AFC West. He had a good reputation within the AFC West. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he played there for a while, played with the Raiders for a while. Like, he has a good reputation there. Like, he has, you know, he's a guy that was talked about in meetings. So, like, I just want to put that out there. Like, he is well known in the AFC West. So, like, let's make that known. Do I study corner play? No, I do not. But, like, that is something that I'm just going to make sure. But I'm going to watch him now. I sure will now. I'm going to put it that way. And the guard, listen, I get it, fans. It's a boring pickup. You don't like it. It's not a wide receiver. I understand it. But, like, it's a need. It's a need because we looked at what happened in the last game of the season. When Elton went out, everything kind of
went blank and a blank.
Yeah. Yes, everything kind of went bad. So, like, you bring in a guard, you shift Elton to center, and we're trying to solidify things. So, like, that's, to me, we did get better. Now, on to why I think people kind of are feeling this way is, yes, because I think they don't have that same feeling yet they do or they did about Aaron and Brett, right? Like, I don't think they have that same feeling about Jordan quite yet that they did about having Aaron and Brett under center, where you don't have to make a ton of moves because you have those guys already set in stone that, you know, if you have those guys, all you have to do is make a little tweak here or there every offseason, and everything's in play, right? You're always in play for a championship. And I think Jordan, I think he has the potential. I hate to compare him to Aaron. I absolutely hate it because I think it's unfair to compare anyone to Aaron. And you played with Brett, and you probably hate to compare anyone to Brett because I think it's unfair. Like, I just don't like comparing people to other quarterbacks because, like, personally, to me, I don't think it's, getting to play with the guy for so long, I don't think it's fair to compare anyone to Aaron because of how good he was. So, like, I don't think it's fair. But at the same time, I think Jordan, from who he is and what he can be really good in this league. So, like, I think we have to give him a little bit of time. It was his second year starting to kind of come into his own and let him be great in his own sense. And I think he can get there, right? Like, I really do. Like, I think he can become a really, really good quarterback in this league. But we have to stop this expectation of he's going to be Aaron Rodgers or he's going to be the next Brett Favre. Like, we can't do that because we didn't expect Aaron to be Brett Favre. I don't think we did. Maybe people did. I don't know. Like, I wasn't here for that transition.
Jason claims he knew he'd be better.
No, I didn't know that he was going to be better, but I thought, and you've talked about this. You talked about Campy saying this in offensive line meetings, pointing out, hey, this isn't typical. This isn't normal. Throws that he would make.
No, Blue, you know the old Campy move when he, end of a practice and you just see that he'll like back things up 75 times and everybody's kind of dozed off and then he'll showcase this kid's special.
Oh, yeah. Well, he would do that. Yeah. Campy did that with about every single player. Like, even if he was like, he would take this guy's like Lamar Woodley and be like, all right, Campy, like, chill out. Like all right, like, relax. But, like, I still think that people feel that way because he hasn't shown yet that he is like Aaron or Brett, right? And the minute he starts to be, that high level, consistent all the time, not this kind of, I don't know, like up and downish, performance, and it's just steady, the same all the time, people are going to change their opinion, right? Because then you just kind of add a guy here, add a guy there, and you're going to get the exact same quarterback play all the time. The opinions change. And to me, that's all you can, like, if you get really good quarterback play all the time, you don't need to continue to add big pieces all around all the time. You just, a little change here or there, and that's all you really need. And to me, that's what Green Bay has done for so long, because you're right. Ted didn't make a bunch of moves because he knew he had Aaron.
Right, he didn't have to.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, or he felt he didn't have to.
Some would argue that he didn't, and that was maybe a reason why teams didn't get over the hump. So, Blue, I'll ask you what we asked our fans. Is this, as we sit here pre-draft,
as the crow flies,
is this team a Super Bowl contender?
I think they're a contender, yes.
Yeah.
I think they're a contender.
Yeah,
yes.
They're not the favorite, but yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, they're not the favorite. I think, like I've said, and I'll say it again, I think they are one of the best 7 teams in the NFC. So to me, they are a contender for a Super Bowl because I think they're one of the best teams in the conference, which means they can get to a Super Bowl. So yes, to me, they are a contender to go to a Super Bowl. They are not the favorite at this point in time to me, but that doesn't mean that as this thing evolves over OTAs, over training camp in the season, that they can't put themselves in that conversation. Because, as I said, I think that, and this, unfortunately, this way the NFL works, this goes as Jordan Love goes, right? This goes as the quarterback play goes. And we can say that the defense has to play a certain way and the O-line has to play a certain way, which I agree with all those things. But let's just call it what it is. This thing's a QB-driven league. We know that. Everyone knows that. Like, if the QB plays a certain way, the team normally plays a certain way too, right? Like, and that's the way this thing goes. And if Jordan Love plays at a high level, that most likely means that our run game is going to be at a really high level too, because teams are now playing against the pass, which means our run game is going to be really good because we're going to have light box. Like, everything kind of works off each other. So, like, to me, if Jordan Love's clicking at a high rate, which I think he's going to do, I feel really good about it. I think he's learned a lot from last year, and you kind of saw him evolve after those early, bad mistakes from early in the year, kind of mid-year, how he evolved from taking care of the football better. I think he's probably have learned a lot this offseason. I think we're going to see a different guy week 1. To me, I think he's going to have a big year, which means I think the team overall is going to have a good year. And we haven't even seen what Goody's done in the draft yet. So, let's see what happens, and let's see how the team improves through the draft. Because as we've seen, day 2 of the draft last year, big-time starters were drafted. Guys that were bona fide starters on this team were drafted in day 2. So, let's just take a breath and see what Goody does, because there's a potential that guys that get drafted in day 1 and 2 are playing and playing significant roles in this upcoming season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will just add this before we let you go, and that is that to Tausch's point and your point about the quarterback getting to a point where you didn't necessarily feel as the GM like you had to make a lot of moves, Jordan Love is undeniably not there yet, and I think we have to be careful because we saw such great quarterback play for so long to think that that's automatically going to happen. I'm not saying that the three people in this conversation think that way, but I do think that there's, I don't want to say a birthright feeling, but Jordan's just going to end up eventually reaching that point too, because that's what we're accustomed to. And there's no guarantee of that. There have been moments that make you think it will happen. There's also been opponents when he hasn't.
He doesn't need to be the level of Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre to win a championship.
No, I would agree.
He doesn't.
I would agree. Brian, we appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for making time. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's just why I wanted to say, that's why I don't want to compare, because I don't think it's fair. I just want to make that super, I don't think it's fair, because, I want Jordan to be the best Jordan Love. I don't want him to be like Aaron Rodgers, because that's just how I feel about it. But
that's why we never compared you to Tausch.
Don't compare. Be fair.
You can't compare me to Tausch. Tausch was on a different level.
Don't
Tausch
compare.
Was on a different level.
Be fair. Is that might be the headline for the segment today, right? It's not fair to compare.
Do you find that to be clever?
I like it. I like rhyming. I like rhyming.
I thought you were more of an alliteration guy.
I like both.
Bryan Bulaga is alliteration, and we say bye to Bryan Bulaga. Bye, Bryan.
All right, guys. Take care.
He is the great Bryan Bulaga, almost as great as American Family Insurance is.
Oh, indeed. American Family Insurance has been a proud sponsor of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and for almost 100 years they've been committed to making your life better with the right home and auto protection, all so that you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Yeah, and speaking of great partners, I've been telling you for a while, too, about the Verizon draft experience that will be going on in Green Bay during the NFL draft, and you'll have your chance to be treated like a first-round pick at the Verizon Lounge on Thursday of the NFL draft. Just head to your local Verizon retail store to register for your chance to win. You'll get round-trip car service from Milwaukee and a hotel stay also included. Verizon is the official 5G network of the NFL, so be sure to visit that draft experience. And they have partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. How about that Bucks comeback win last night at Fiserv Forum? 110-103. The Bucks defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Milwaukee trailed by 24 in the fourth quarter before going on a massive run to come all the way back and win the game.
They completed that comeback with under 10 minutes left. They trailed by 24 points. It is the largest come-from-behind fourth-quarter deficit for a team to win in the NBA since the play-by-play stat era began in 1996 and 1997. How about that? Bucks have won 5 straight, looking like they'll be the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Milwaukee next in action Thursday night, hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Tip time set for 7 o'clock right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. We're also Madison's home of the Brewers. Last night, Milwaukee 7-1 winners, starting a road trip out west, visiting the Colorado Rockies in the first of 3. Home runs in the 7th inning for Bryce Terang, and then back-to-back Christian Yelich and William Contreras. Back at it tonight, 7:40 first pitch.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Thanks as always to Bryan Bulaga. Don't compare, be fair, or it's not fair
to compare. Yeah, I get a kick out of
rhyming.
I
You're
agree.
an MC.
I agree. I am not under any circumstances comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers. I am just comparing the belief in a locker room when you have the guy. And I've heard Josh Jacobs talk on it. I've heard Xavier McKinney talk on it. They all think he is the guy. And I've always said, yes, is it great that Favre was the great quarterback that he was and that Rodgers was, and the plays that they made and how they practiced and how they approached things, setting that example. But the biggest thing and the biggest differentiator besides their talent is the fact that you have 32 locker rooms. Maybe 5, maybe at the most 10 every season. Doesn't matter who you draft. Doesn't matter what happened the year before. If you have the guy in that spot, you have complete buy-in from 53 dudes. There's different guys that have different agendas, but everybody will say, well, we got the guy. And is that a big burden to put on a quarterback? It is. Very few. I would say right now, you're maybe looking at 3 or 4 guys in this league that carry that mantle.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes.
I don't know if there's anybody in the I don't think it's Jalen Hurts. Oh my God, he's carrying us too. It's that roster's stacked, and Jalen Hurts can do it. I don't know how many other rosters have that quarterback. It's a special thing. And Packer fans have had that for a long time. And right now, this is not a slight to Jordan. That is not – you have to earn that. Aaron didn't have that in 08. He probably started getting it about 2010.
Not even in 09 when,
I think
when
people
he played really
believed
well,
listen, we went into 10 thinking, there's some good things on the horizon. He's going to keep getting better and better. But I think there's a lot of moments that I think – but when he did what he did in Atlanta – I think that probably elevated him where everybody in that locker room, you got to have those moments that the young players that come into the locker room are thinking, man, I remember seeing him do that in Atlanta on a Saturday night. And that buy-in and that belief is the most important thing that a franchise quarterback brings, not only to the locker room, but to everybody in the organization. Sales guys and the seamstress,
janitorial staff.
Everybody is looking at like, yeah, we can win.
So what you mentioned how Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney and they talk about him. He's the guy, right? What do players say about their my question is, what else are they going to say? I don't know about this guy. What do players say on teams? It's hard for you because you've never been on that team, right?
I think even with Aaron in 08, there's the, man, we love the talent. Now we just got to go out and do it. We got to see it. But
so how do you answer those questions? All right, so I would say in Washington, I'm guessing there's a bunch of veteran guys after this past rookie season by Jaden Daniels who are like, oh, yeah, he's the guy.
Yes.
And certainly,
if you remember, Reggie White said that about Brett Favre very early.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when Reggie says that, what do you think these other young D tackles are going to say?
He must be the guy.
Same thing with Xavier and Josh Jacobs, both leaders on this team. They say those things, and do they fully believe it? I think they believe it. But do they want to see more and more consistency, just like Jordan does and Matt LaFleur does? Absolutely.
Right. Like, so to my point, and again, it's not something that you experienced personally, but so what do you say then about CJ Stroud, right? He had a really strong rookie season. He was kind of up and down, right, last season, just like Jordan Love was in his second year as a starter. Like, if you're in that Houston locker room, you're saying, oh, he's him and he's different and we believe in him that way. But I can't imagine that those guys in their quiet thoughts
I would not put him in that
feel
category.
that way. Right.
I would put him in the category of there's a lot of guys that believe but want to see more.
You think
there's some teams that have no clue. Like Indianapolis right now is like, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
And when you have the I don't knows, it makes it very easy for guys to kind of get very selfish about their playing and about how they approach their job.
Do they have it in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow?
Oh, I think they believe in that, but I think that's more of a
injury.
Can we get things figured out on the other side of the football?
Okay. What about with Justin Herbert?
No. I think guys believe that we can win some games, but to think that you can put it all on old boy, no.
And I don't think that if those guys in the current locker room are being unfilteredly honest.
You're talking about in Green Bay.
Yes.
No, I don't think anyone is sitting here saying, just put it on Jordan.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying that.
No.
Whereas in the past, I think people had said, we got the guy and we know it, and we are going to show it.
Are you going to do the rhyming thing all day?
No, I don't know.
Are you going to take it all the way into the tailgate tour stop?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I never know how this all shakes out.
You are an MC, like young MC, Stone Cold Rhymin', his album.
I don't know that one.
Oh, come on. You know who Young MC is,
I
don't
don't
you?
know, no. Khalid.
No.
DJ Khalid.
No.
That's what I know.
DJ Khaled.
Whatever. You can say it your way. I'll say it my way.
Young MC sang Bust a Move.
Yeah, I know the song.
Well, it didn't sound like you did.
Well, if you sing a song, I can know it. I don't know every album and every artist. It's not where I live.
Where do you live? What's the
Sabrina
address?
Carpenter. I've been hearing a lot of her stuff lately.
I sent Jason a rhyme about
it's kind of inappropriate. The more I'm listening to her lyrics, kind of inappropriate for an 11. I don't love it.
Hard to believe that that's occurring.
Well, I didn't even realize because it's a catchy song. Oh, she opened for Taylor Swift. Oh, it'll be cute, and oh, it's cute. And then you start listening to the song and you hear your kids singing it. Eleanor singing it. I'm like, I don't know. Turn this off.
Over the weekend, there was like a 2-year-old.
It's only Wilde and Tausch now that she gets to listen to.
She loves the
Speaking of inappropriate,
Pink Pony Club song is like her go-to, like that calms the 2-year-old down. But the Pink Pony Club song not appropriate.
Yeah,
for
and more I think about it too. It's a catchy tune though.
Very catchy,
but probably not overly appropriate.
I'm gonna quietly segue my way out of this conversation and into telling you that ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Podcast is coming to Green Bay, and Jesse is standing by right now to take your call to be a winner to attend on April 23rd. It's Field Yates, it's Daniel Dopp, it's Mike Clay, it's Liz Loza, and it's Stefania Bell. They are doing a live show at the Tundra Trio in ESPN Wisconsin and wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. Right now, caller number 10. Caller 10. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776 wins 2 tickets to ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Live at the Tundra Trio. See the show up close, meet all the hosts, and get complimentary food and beverages and Fantasy Focus. I always stumble at that spot. Fantasy Focus Football Podcast merch. It's caller 10 right now, 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, the new baseball season is in full swing. Basketball's postseason about to get underway, and Green Bay is ready to host the draft. It is such an exciting time to think about all the big things happening in Wisconsin sports. Maybe it's also time for you to start thinking about an exciting new vehicle. Well, if that's the case, start your search with Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Stop by the dealership on Main Street in Sun Prairie to check out their full inventory of new and used vehicles. Or make it even easier by starting your search online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. And if you're not in the market for a new vehicle but want to make sure yours feels as new as the day you drove it off the lot, get a tune-up with Zimbrick Chevy's amazing service team. Stop into Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie and discover this great automotive team that I've been telling you about for years. Consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation, Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30-2025.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Live the high life and get into the nitty-gritty, home of the award-winning Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Enjoy a full menu including sandwiches, specialty burgers, wraps, salads, and weekend brunch. With the family-friendly environment, it's a great place to watch the big game. Plus, they've got Miller High Life Power Hour specials daily. Located in downtown Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The nitty-gritty, a tradition since 1968. Also enjoy high life at Bar Coralini, Paradise Lounge, and Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Presented today by Verizon. Together for veterans. Verizon has partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years.
We need to get ready for Uncle Homer. We're already running late. Jesse, here's one of the other drawbacks of me being here.
Filming in front of a live studio audience?
No, for you. You barely talk today.
Yeah, well, I don't get to talk to you during the breaks even as much. Like, usually you're lonely
Might
in
have
your
to come here
basement,
more
so you're
often.
talking to me. Now you got Tausch, you got all these other teammates hopping in saying hi to you.
It is a hive of activity.
There's a lot
that's
of
for
agreement about Sabrina Carpenter's stuff being little inappropriate.
I believe her on-stage behavior drew some.
I haven't seen that.
Some
I don't
references
watch videos
to
like that.
inappropriateness as well. You don't watch videos.
I don't. Unless it's on Twitter, I don't watch videos.
Yeah, I believe this was on Twitter.
I don't follow Sabrina. So.
Well, you bring her up a lot for not
because
following
I
her.
hear her
Big
music
fan.
constantly. There's a station I listen to that's all they play.
Well, maybe you should switch to Dad Rock.
Maybe Yacht Rock.
That's what you listen to when you're in the car with Matt LePay. All right, we need to get to Uncle Homer. I wonder what he listens to when he's not listening to us or listening to ESPN Wisconsin programming. What kind of music do you think Homer's go-to is?
I think he's in oldies.
Oldies like the 1950s, like Elvis Presley?
I'd say Beatles, like 60s stuff.
All right, we'll find out when we talk to him. Gruber Law Offices isn't an oldie, but it is definitely a goodie. They've been around for 35 years, and they've been helping their clients win after they've been injured in an accident. Hopefully you never have to make the call, but if you need to make it, here's the number, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. Go to the website, gruber-law.com. Find out more about the firm, all the great lawyers that are there, and all the great things that David and his family do in our communities. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. Uncle Homer joins us next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. I love this time of year on the sports calendar. New baseball season underway, the basketball playoffs, and speculating what Green Bay will do in the draft. And on top of all that, the weather is getting nicer and the days are getting longer. That means more sunlight and more encouragement to make the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Wouldn't you love to have a way to save money and save the planet? Well, good news. There is a way. It's by making the switch to solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch over the last several years. When we knew we were ready to make the switch, we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike, There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Brought to you by Verizon. Experience the draft in Green Bay with a Road to the Draft sweepstakes powered by Verizon. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for official rules and details.
You know what that music means? The voice of Marquette men's basketball, the host of the best 60 minutes of your day, at least in his opinion, the Homer Hour with John Anderson, Bryan Bulaga, Gary Ellerson. Tim Van Voren and I carry the show on Wednesdays with him. And, of course, you see him on YouTube with My Faith, God Talk, with Homer and Pip. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, good morning. How are you today?
Well, I'm good because I follow the show in which Mark Tauscher said the most historic comment he's ever made, and one that should be kept from now until the end of time, to understand what teammates really feel about a quarterback, even one that turned out to be a great one.
What did he say? Was I not listening?
Don't compare, be fair?
No. As was asked, when did you feel that way about Rodgers? After 8? No. After 9? No.
Well, in fairness, I wasn't there in 9 for a big chunk of it.
Doesn't matter. Not until Atlanta. Those were the words. Brilliant, and everybody needs to know that any discussion about what players really feel about Jordan Love
Homer, there's
our lies.
No, it's not lies. So here's how I would view it. There is, and I think a lot of it is similar to when you're playing, and you believe that you can be a pro. You believe that you can be a great player, and you can have all this belief, but at some point you have to see it. And I think for a lot of us, Aaron had the performance in Dallas in 2007 that kind of gave, I think, the front office that validation of, all right, we've seen this now in a small sample size. 2008 was a struggle. There's ups and downs. He fought through some things. 2009 was kind of getting your feet into it. And, okay, he's going to be a really good quarterback in this league. But there's a difference between being a really good quarterback and being an all-timer. That performance was all-timer. I don't know if you can look at a lot of different quarterback play. I would argue you can say that performance was, I don't think there's a question, the greatest of his career. And I would say, show me a performance better in a playoff road game that you've ever seen a quarterback play better football than Aaron Rodgers did that night. Can anybody tell me? So there is this belief, and then there's the I've seen it, and it is real.
And it's spectacular.
That was I've seen it, it is real, and boy, is it spectacular. Absolutely.
And that has not occurred yet with Jordan Love.
No, it has not. Even with the Dallas performance, I think had he done that in San Fran and finished that game, whew, it's a whole other animal. But yet you have to.
What the players said has an element of truth, but it's not really true.
No, it's true. Nobody is saying that he's an all-time great. They believe they can win a championship with him, which is, I think we all believe that going in. But there's belief and then there's validation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Homer, I guess my problem with this, and I've admitted to this many times because I was part of the Jordan Love crowning industrial complex after the 23 season. Where we were with him after that season versus where we are now in the April timeframe, where it's not quite the draft yet, it's not the offseason program yet, it's not training camp yet. We don't know how he's going to come out and look in training camp. Where are you in your belief in him? Because Tausch's question earlier in the week, which was a good one about them being a Super Bowl contender, and the question about if Goody had done enough, I think Tausch, when he pivoted, was right, that it's not a question of whether you believe in Goody, it's whether you believe in Jordan Love right now. And I don't know where on the spectrum of belief most people are. I think they're still closer to I'm a believer than I'm a doubter, but where are you?
Exactly the same way as I am with Goody and LaFleur. They're all good. The question is, none of them have yet been good enough, and somebody has to become special. Somebody has to become a field tilter in their job for them to get to the Super Bowl. And take your pick. Who do you think is most likely, or a player on the team?
Hey, Homer, do you think this resurgence, because I have to admit, we had calls, and I think it was end of last week, with the roster reconstruction and what Goody has done, and I think Goody has done a great job with picking up free agents, and obviously last year he had 2 home runs. But after Mike got fired in 2018, has it been more of a renaissance or a turnaround because of Goody or because of Matt LaFleur coming in with new ideas and reinvigorating Aaron Rodgers? Who would you say that turnaround gets more credit from?
Well, the answer to the question is it was LaFleur with Rodgers for a year or two, but they didn't get to the Super Bowl. They ended up short. Since then, the return to try to equal that or be as good is all Goody. It's always about the players, and he has had to replace a Hall of Fame quarterback, one that was very good, though not as good at the end of the playoffs. And he's done that because and I may be the only one who does this, a GM's job is to put a team together. I don't care if it's the draft. I don't care if it's free agents. I don't care if it's the guy he finds from Mars. The key is how good is the team, and the team has gotten better because Goody has done a good job at replacing a Hall of Fame quarterback and has drafted significantly better. He's added free agents. I don't know that I believe he's as good as you say he is, but your position makes sense because he's gotten, I think, significantly better and has done it when he had to. The quarterback he picked certainly wasn't a bad choice. We're discussing how good. The free agents he added. This discussion about first-round draft picks should be against the law. It's one part of putting a team together. You can suck with first-round picks for 20 years if you use one to get a good quarterback, if the rest of your moves are good.
Yeah, if you look at Ron Wolf's track record, his first-round picks were not home runs.
No.
That's correct.
But he had a lot of great second, third, fourth, et cetera, et cetera.
Look at the free agents, the veterans that he brought in that were all necessary in order. And even Terrell Buckley was a fifth. Now, he's not big enough. We got to get another guy in there. Newsom. He never, so how could you win a Super Bowl, back-to-back Super Bowls, with all the bad picks that Ron Wolf made? Because it isn't about the bad picks. Look at the team they put together. Look at the team that Goody's put together. He's done a good job, and he's getting better. I have confidence in him in the upcoming draft. I don't know who he's going to take. I don't know what round, because the last couple drafts have been good after he had some horrific, I don't know how it's happened, horrific selections of tight ends and wide receivers.
So you don't think he'll be somewhere in the middle? You think he'll either be magnificent or god-awful?
No, I think he's good. But somebody for this team to get and not be a 7th seed and be a player, be one of the top teams, something's got to get better than it is right now. Goody's got to draft even better. LaFleur's got to coach even better. That's the biggest question mark to me. He finally has a great running back, and then all of a sudden they can't pass the ball. Maybe Jordan Love was hurt, or I don't know. Somebody.
Where'd they finish in passing last year?
Team.
Offense?
What?
Where did they finish passing offense? It wasn't. I mean, you kind of are making it out like it's horrible. It wasn't horrible. Was
well, no,
it,
I don't.
Jason?
I mean, they weren't. They were, but you would have thought they would be better. You would have thought it would have been LaFleur at his best, because while he lost the Hall of Fame quarterback, he has this incredible running back, and you would think the running back would open
35
up
drops.
so much.
35 drops.
You watched them.
Well,
did you feel that offense struggled because of the drops? No.
It didn't help.
I didn't say it helped. What was the problem? Nobody was open. And shouldn't have people been more wide open than they were the year before, given the running back that they had and how much teams had to work on stopping that running back? And instead, nobody was open. We're watching.
The Packers offense finished 8th in scoring offense, 5th in total offense, 5th in rushing offense, 12th in passing offense. 12th is not god-awful. But it certainly isn't nearly as productive as it was at the apex.
You have this head coach who's a great play caller. I talked about how great he was and all this, and now he has a setup that should make his job even easier, and it looked worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his quarterback factored into that as well, with some inconsistent play in the first half of the season and playing.
Any role though. I'm excited. I want him to play now. I want to see
it's
what
not how
happens
the season
next year.
works. There's a draft coming, and then there's off-season program, and it'll be here. August will be here before you know it. And August will be here before you know it when it comes to the NBA. Did you watch that last night? What are you shaking your head about?
I did.
August will be here before you know it when it comes to the NBA
and NFL. Yeah.
No, he switched to the NBA.
Yeah, because Homer has had some He is a provocateur when it comes to Giannis. He called it a while ago, and I don't know who his source was, but he's very concerned that this will be it. He said, "Get to Fiserv because you don't know when this might be the last time you see the great Giannis." Yep. And last night we saw a great, probably the best quarter ball we've seen all year, that fourth quarter, what they did. And are you still feeling the same way? Where is your vibe changing with this team or not?
His vibe about what?
The vibe about the Bucks, the vibe about Giannis,
about August
leaving. Is Giannis going to be on this team in August? Just your vibe on what we saw last night, and I know it's a one quarter, but it was an impressive quarter.
Yeah. No, it's the same. They're a long shot to do anything of significance in the playoffs. Though the moves that were made by the Bucks, they did as good as they could, and so. But no, it's pretty much the same.
What happens if they get knocked out in the second round?
Well, actually, what had to they should, as John Anderson said, they should hire Malone, the coach who got fired today. They should talk to Doc, take this one and make Malone the head coach.
What, you want to pay
today.
4 coaches?
Yeah, they got all the guy. Come on, the guy's got all the money.
Hey, Jimmy.
I mean, I'm asking,
Jimmy, we need you to pay a quarterback $120 million in Cleveland, and we need you to pay a 4th coach.
Sure, this is nothing compared to what he's done in Cleveland.
That's true.
And I'm asking Doc to take a little less. Doc didn't want to coach really anyway. It was just more money than he could turn down. So I think you can get Doc to leave at the end of the season if you want, but you make the move right today. Next year's coach is Malone.
I don't. You're the end.
If we can do that, then we need to bring Jokic in. Can you imagine Yanni and Joker? Woo-hoo!
I don't understand. I have not read up on that. I don't understand how a team
Dollar Dame for Joker. Who says no?
Denver says no. No matter who's running their operation.
What if we throw Kuz in there? Hey,
Kyle
who would have
Kuzma,
guessed that the Mavericks were going to trade Doncic to the Lakers for
Doncic?
I want us today. Right whenever the season's over, I want us, because the Nuggets are going to flame out. The Bucks are probably going to get beat out. Right when that happens, I want our GM, I want Horsty to call up and say, "Listen, man, we'll give you a first.
This is the weirdest thing.
We'll give you $1 Dame, and we want Joker back."
The best he's ever been, but now the worst he's ever been.
Who?
Please don't on Wisconsin on Demand. Just edit this part out for Tausch. The last.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Homer, nobody would have thought Doncic was going to the Lakers either. Is that fair? Nobody.
Can I ask? If I may?
I just want Joker and Giannis to play together.
Hold on, let me just.
Is that asking too much?
When anybody uses that as an explanation, that means they think something's not going to happen.
So I think what we're experiencing here is what psychologists call the Hawthorne effect, because
Oh, I never heard
Pablo
of
is in here, and he's got a camera. And there is a theory that you've become suddenly very much more demonstrative.
Since when?
Since you started
What
this
have I been
Bucks
doing?
conversation.
No, I'm not you mean like I hammer my pen down?
No, Tausch. He's
Tausch,
throwing out
okay.
this Joker trade all of a sudden. Are you doing this
No.
for this behind the scenes
I'm on camera
content?
all the time anyways.
Yeah, but this is different. There's not usually people sitting in the room. There's 3 people in here. Are you
There's
playing
actually
to the
there's
crowd?
2 more in the back too.
I didn't think it was any different.
No, to what Tyler said.
I'm not doing anything different.
You're telling me that this is have no effect on your behavior.
You think that I'm going to change my?
I think when we go back and look at the video of you with your Luka Doncic trading for Jokic, who says no routine.
Well, that's fun. I know,
but
listen,
you were playing for the camera.
I know it's not going to happen, but
Fair.
I'm saying, how fun would it be if we could pull this off? That's all.
Yeah, I don't believe he's doing it for the camera.
I'm
I
not,
think the
but
opinion
I get Jason's
was
point.
very weak, not for the camera. I don't.
All right, I'll
I
stoic
do want
up.
to
I'll
credit
just sit here.
also
Stoic up.
I'm just going to stoic up.
I want to credit 14, just so you know, the guy whose handicap is at 16. He talked about how he plays poorly in golf earlier this week after he's been drinking the night before. Of course, that's another way 14 turns to 16. You always keep playing those rounds when you really know you can't play with garbage because it helps you it helps a real 14 turn to a 16.
Okay.
Well,
He's got it covered.
the old sandbagger has stoiced up, so it's time to let you go, Homer. Thanks.
Bye.
I know you won't be stoic, and you will play for the camera when you talk about this exciting contest we have with Kohler Services.
Yeah, you know what I love? I mean,
And now Pablo's put the camera down.
We have great bathrooms. There's great bathrooms if you had Kohler Services, but I've seen a lot of hotel bathrooms that are
crappy. I think you've called them.
I've seen bathrooms over at the Coliseum. You got an ugly bathroom. Your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin. Upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. You heard me correct. One lucky fan. You get a free shower remodel from Kohler Services. That includes a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower bath. I am going to bring a sledgehammer, and I am going to start hammering away at that old stinky stank shower with all the mold and blech. And you get installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. Upload your photo by the end of April to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests for your chance to win. Was that demonstrative enough?
Yeah, that's good. Old stoic Gold Tea. We got one more segment in the 10 o'clock hour with Stoic Gold Tea next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin, powered today by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. Visit Verizon at the Draft Experience on April 24th through 26th in Green Bay.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Beauty Rest Black mattresses at Steinhoffels. The new Beauty Rest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing only at Steinhoffels. Draft day on the horizon. ESPN's Mel Kiper stopping by Wilde and Tausch breaking down the draft class. The longtime analyst with his thoughts on multiple Badgers, including Hunter Wohler.
I think he goes day 3. It just depends upon whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th round area. I liked him at Wisconsin. Obviously, a really good player. He tackles well. He's got a chance in the NFL. We thought Jim Leonard come out of his program, and there we gave him a shot. Look what Jim Leonard developed into. Overall, I think you look at where Wohler will go. I'd like to say somewhere mid to late day 3.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Professional volleyball is in full swing from here in Madison. Don't miss a second of the action. Cheer on Love Madison Volleyball as they make history with some of the best players in the world. Olympic medalists, NCAA All-Americans, and one of the most talented rookie classes ever. This is volleyball at its highest level. Experience the excitement yourself. Get your tickets today at lovb.com. Volleyball is the next major league. The excitement is just getting started. Stay connected with Love Madison Volleyball and be part of the action as the team continues to rise to new heights. Follow LOVB Madison on social media and stay up to date online for all the latest news, exciting announcements, and more from League One. Plus, show the love yourself with official team merchandise and show support for the next big thing in professional sports. Volleyball is the next major league.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or, looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no-obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Presented today by Verizon. Together for veterans, Verizon has partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years.
When you tell me I'm a wreck, you say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you were.
So when you do shows in here, you just have all this paperwork?
Well, sometimes Jesse will give me a show sheet. Most of the times he doesn't, but when there's a crowd and you're here, he's a little more focused, so he'll give me that. But no, I bring my own binder. You know I'm a binder guy.
Is Jesse, would you say that Tausch is telling the truth right now?
Tausch likes when he has papers in hand, and most of the time I think I'm decent at getting him what he needs. I am prioritizing.
I would agree.
Tausch needs some things right now, and I've chosen to prioritize you over him, so I guess that makes you the more special guest today. So.
Oh, well, what does he need? What do you need?
I don't need anything. I got Bubbler, so I'm good.
And we've got Tier 1 Tyler, who is in studio. He did the trivia for us. I think we should have him read his own trivia.
Yes. There is not a doubt in my mind, Tyler.
Let's get him on camera.
We've
got a whole TV crew here with Pablo.
By the way, we will critique him heavily as well, as long as he's up for it.
Critique?
Well, yeah, that's part of the deal here.
He's not even. He doesn't even work here.
That's what makes this so difficult.
What's not difficult, and I did this, I made a stop on my way down because, well, I didn't have Tausch in the car, so I was able to stop whenever I wanted, but I know Tausch also would have stopped at Quick Trip.
I didn't know where you were going. Life is busy.
I'm reading the show sheet.
Quick Trip gets it. You know, it was great. Jesse brought in all kinds of donuts today, Glazers and Dunkers. Oh, my.
Hunter couldn't get open one of the boxes.
3 different, it was kind of a sign. Hunter was going to go grab the Glazers, and then the box wouldn't open, so he just went with the Dunker.
Which had already been opened.
I think banana, cream, and the blueberry.
Good job,
there you
Jesse,
go, Jesse,
on that, by the way. Those are good.
And if you want coffee, he didn't bring us any coffee, but we'll forgive him for that. But those tasty bakery treats. Quick Trip's got everything, and right now, Nature's Touch ice cream. Chocolate, vanilla, cookies, and cream. I'm not a fan of the mint chocolate chip. You guys know that, but I love cookies and cream. There's no such thing as a bad pick. And right now you can get a gallon of that for just $4.99. Get Nature's Touch milk for $2.99. The breakfast sausage from the Quickery is $2.49, and it's cold out. Get that big old bag of soup, $6.99 on Tuesdays. You got the chicken. You guys, I hear that all the time. Wednesdays, chicken tenders. You got the $6.99 on Mondays for the whole roasted chicken. Quick Trip's got everything you need. Take advantage of it. Quick rewards on every visit. You can order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we will see you next time.
So, Jesse, we've been doing this contest with Verizon. Were we supposed to be in a Verizon store today instead of in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios?
There were some talks early on, but then we realized, well, the Verizon stores aren't open when we're on the air normally, so that was
at least not to start the show.
Yeah, so that was part of why we ended up not being at a Verizon location today. Kyle Brust and Nortman are at a Verizon store in Oak Creek this afternoon. You can go check those guys out this afternoon if you're in that area.
The OC.
My mom's old stomping grounds at Oak Creek. Yeah, so they'll be out there, but we're spreading the good word about Verizon nonetheless throughout the course of today's show.
We are, and they are the official 5G network of the NFL, and of course they've got their draft experience with Verizon starting on April 24th through the 26th during the draft in Green Bay. For your chance to be treated like a first-round pick at the Verizon Lounge on Thursday of the NFL Draft, just head to your local Verizon retail store. Maybe we could have done that. To register for your chance to win, you'll get round-trip car service from Milwaukee and a hotel stay. Both are included. And don't forget that Verizon has partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball on ESPN Madison. Don't miss a special radio broadcast of the spring match at the Fieldhouse Wednesday, April 16th, featuring Wisconsin hosting Marquette right here on Madison's home of Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball, 100.5 ESPN. How about that Bucks come-from-behind win last night at Fiserv Forum? The Bucks down 24 with less than 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, come all the way back and win 110-103 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. It is the largest comeback of record since the NBA began its play-by-play era, which was the 1996-97 season. The Bucks, winners of 5 straight, now in a good position to get the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference playoff pictures, as long as they can keep this thing on the rails the next couple of days. Thursday night, they host the New Orleans Pelicans. Tip time set for 7 o'clock at Fiserv Forum. Let's do it right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Also, Madison's home of the Brewers. The Crew 7-1 winners last night at Colorado in the first of 3 against the Rockies. Home runs in the 7th inning for Bryce Terang, and then back-to-back Christian Yelich and William Contreras.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Of Wilde and Tausch begins now. It will include Tier 1 Tyler trivia. Now, Do you think he wants to come in and read the trivia?
Yes. I think he's got a little Jesse. I think he's got a little Jesse in him. I think he likes to be I think he likes attention.
I don't even know why he's friends with Jesse. I'd love to hear the story behind that. Like,
why
what
would you
is
be?
the
Jesse's a good
genesis
dude.
No. Let me try that again.
Okay.
I don't know the origin story of his friendship with Jesse.
Okay.
Do you?
No, they're
Well,
friends.
What do you think our origin story is?
You both dated the same girl at Bradley, and she broke up with you, and Tyler swooped in and started dating her. And you guys found that you had a lot in common, and then he broke up with her, and your friendship continued. No?
There is so much wrong with that, and
is there more? Am I hitting closer to home than I should, or what?
No, I was there when Tyler asked his high school sweetheart to the homecoming dance, and they've been together ever since.
And now they're married with children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my origin story was not accurate.
Not even close.
So did you guys go to college together?
No.
Did you go to high school together?
Yes.
All right. So
did you not just hear him say that he helped him? He was there when he asked his then girlfriend.
I thought maybe it was the homecoming at Bradley. He never said it was the high school.
There's no
homecoming.
There's no college
homecoming at Wisconsin.
College dances.
Yeah.
Wisconsin has a homecoming dance?
Well, I don't know. I didn't go.
Well, they don't.
maybe the Greek system does.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay, so you were high school friends, and one of the bullies stuffed you in a locker, and Tyler came along and freed you, and you were forever in his debt.
No, Tyler bribed him with bubbler. He went and said, "Hey, I'll get you 2 bubblers a week. Let us walk through the hallway and don't stuff us into a locker."
Tyler actually was the bully, and I
see
helped him change his ways. It was a feel-good story. Yeah.
All right. This is going to be my last pitch.
Oh God.
Okay. What?
No, you've been wrong on everything about these two so far.
Well, maybe I was going for some sort of comedic entertainment.
I don't think so.
Well, I didn't say that it was comedic.
I think you were trying to ham it up.
Yeah.
I think he was hamming it up because Pablo's got the camera on him.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
He's trying to be
I don't
extra
want
hammy.
any of our stuff on social
He's
media.
trying to be
Remember who
extra
I
hammy.
am. I think you guys met in the band.
Yep.
He was.
That'll do it. Yep.
Oh, wait. Is there. Well, wait a minute. Now you're cutting me off.
Oh. Okay.
Is there a reason why you're cutting me off from my band origin story?
Because you're going to get more wrong the more details you try and
just
get.
tell us.
Because they were at band camp.
We met at band camp in the marching
Was
band
there a
at
flute
Muskego High
involved?
School. For him.
There was an apple pie.
You played the flute?
I think there were pies. You guys like blueberry?
Is American Pie such an old movie now that we're on our own on this?
But it is a great movie.
So, what in the band drew you two to each other?
Pies.
Now who's hamming it up?
The camera's not even on.
I mean, so I was in the pit percussion. So we were inside in the air conditioning while everyone else was learning all the marching steps outside in the hot sun.
Neither of you were marchers.
No, he was.
Oh,
Tyler
he
was. He played the trombone. I played the xylophone, and at one point I hit a triangle and a cymbal. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Yeah. So he got to know some of the other friends that I had already known that had come with me from middle school, and then we kind of merged friend groups that
way.
way.
Were you tearing them already in your youth?
No, there were no tears up until probably college is when you start to tear.
What jump did Tyler, because you met Tyler at band.
Do you just want Tyler to answer these questions?
We'll get to Tyler
no, he's
when
only
reading.
cleared to do the audio for the trivia.
He started as a 5, and then what triggered him to become a 1?
See, you're getting after me. This is interesting.
Yes, it is, but you were just going in a weird way, like a weird operation. You thought there was some love triangle that those three were.
Wouldn't that have been something if I'd have been right? Like when you got that
would have
time
been, but
right?
I think. So how did he go from a 5 to a 1? Was it a 5-4-3-2, or was it a 5-3-1?
So when you're in high school, so Muskego's a pretty big high school, and so there's
What's
different.
their current enrollment?
I don't
Heard
know.
they're a great bowling school.
They are state champs.
Not as good of a football school as they once were, though.
Heard it was very lukewarm announcing that when they won that state championship.
And JV coaching. Sorry, George. Continue. Sorry, Jesse. We didn't mean to steal your
unnecessary.
thunder.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the question. Oh, how did Tyler climb the ranks? I think when you're in high school and in big school, like you kind of find your sector of people that you get to know most through different classes that you share together. And I think for the people that were in the band at Muskego, you share a lot of classes together because they have to organize your schedule around what time you all are in the one time that the band is practicing together. So I think we ended up being in like English classes and other classes throughout, and that's how we got to know each other more. And then our friend group merged, and Tyler's a sports guy, I'm a sports guy, shared interests, and that's how friendships develop at that stage of life.
So it was gradual from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. Didn't make a big jump.
Probably 5 to 3 or 2 real quick, and then you get to 1. You earn 1.
Whatever
over
happened
time.
to the number 1 that was before Tyler was tier 1? Tyler?
Great question.
Thanks.
Well, he doesn't. The tier system.
Too bad the camera wasn't going on.
There doesn't always.
Pablo
This is the
Vision.
glory of the
Pablo
tier.
knows what's not making it and
Yeah.
what is, and that camera's been shut off this whole segment.
The glory of the tiered system is you don't have to have a quota of people who are on tier 1. You can just climb and become a tier 1. So Tyler didn't replace anyone else on tier 1. If he did, it would have probably been Mike or Danny. But
that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
You elevate to tier 1 when
Mike.
the time is right.
Poor Mikey. Poor Mikey and Danny.
Any other questions?
Yes. Is Tyler ready to come in studio to do the questions, or are you going to keep him like fettered back there to do the questions into your microphone?
He's coming in by you guys.
All right. Boom. You got it. All right. Well, we look forward to that. He will be, I think, the first non-cleared.
No, I think Jackrabbit Mama.
Jackrabbit
read
Mama
some
did
trivia
this
too.
similar
She
style
read
approach.
questions
I think she
when
did
you let her
trivia.
in that day?
Yeah, I think we put her to work. We're not. It's like just coming in for free. You're going like he's paid his dues. He's bubbled it. Now he's got to work.
And now Tyler will tell you about how great it is for him to be a UW Credit Union member.
Well, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, oh, T, why'd you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Well, yeah. Is it the member first service? Well, absolutely. Great perks like early payday. Yeah, I love that. But honestly, it's Bucky. Love being associated with Wisconsin. Bucky and the whole team can't say no to that beautiful face. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
All right, it is time for Tier 1 Tyler Trivia. Which caller, let's see, your friendship dates back to high school.
2006 was our freshman year.
All right, so that 19 years of friendship. So caller 19 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 19 plays Tier 1 Tyler Trivia, and he will inquire and ask those questions next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop step, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment, and here's another great fundraising event in Madison.
The 4th annual Bridge to Brighter benefit concert is back, Friday, April 25th at the Majestic Theater. Join us for an unforgettable night featuring the soulful sounds of J.R. Diz and the electrifying Mo Soul Collective. All proceeds support youth aging out of foster care, helping them build a brighter future. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now and visit bridgetobrighter.org for details.
I will see you there.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit. I didn't know the love of you was the happiest I've ever been. So I'm just trying to hold on.
It is time for trivia. Tyler, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, well, let's get you a contestant. It is Brian in Williams Bay. Brian, good morning. How are you?
I'm great to talk to you, gentlemen, again.
Yeah,
welcome, Tyler.
Oh, that's
Look
nice.
at that.
Brian, welcoming
Look at that,
you.
getting a welcome.
We
That's
didn't
nice.
even welcome you.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Brian. All right, well, I handed the questions back to Tyler, so I have no idea what they are. I don't know the correct answers. So, Tyler, question number 1.
All right. Let's hope they're all right here. With the track.
Why, did Jesse actually write them?
Yes, that's a good one.
What do you mean? You wrote them.
I know. I'm just nervous about it.
And you also got him in past the deadline last week because I wanted
That's
you and
true.
Joe to go toe-to-toe last week, but that didn't
We all
happen.
know I'm better than Joe at this, so.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Shots fired.
Trivia track talk.
Yeah.
More alliteration.
Yeah, true. With attractions such as Infinity Room and a carousel, which Wisconsin city is home to the House on the Rock Resort? Is it Mauston, Spring Green, or Golden?
Green.
Not bad.
Nice. All right. Question 2.
Wait, did he answer the question?
It hasn't answered yet, I don't think.
Oh, I thought he said.
Spring Green.
I thought he
Oh,
said.
did you
Green.
say Spring Green? Oh, I didn't hear it either.
I heard.
You know how this works. Don't
I
act
heard-
like you're new here.
I
We
heard
celebrate
it.
the
I
correct
said-
answer.
I said nice.
I
How
would,
much more celebration does this guy need?
I'm not.
Jeez. Guy welcomes you in and you're not even celebrating him getting the question
I
right?
said nice. How much more?
All right. In fairness to Tier 1 Tyler, he did get the correct answer. He did say nice. You didn't play any sound effects.
So
or
it's on
anything.
Jesse.
Oh, don't you?
It's like you didn't even hear
No,
it.
it is on Jesse then.
Right.
I did not hear that, so that's on Jesse. Nice job,
Well
fellas.
done, Bryan,
Nice job,
and
Brian.
well
Good
done,
job,
Tyler.
everybody.
I'm
But
probably
Jeff,
going
Great
down a
answer,
tier after
Brian.
this.
Nicely done.
Thank you. But
Nice
I got to
work.
have Jesse's back on this.
Oh, nice. All right. If going to see a taping of Hard Knocks this summer in Green Bay, I would be driving north on 151 from Madison to Green Bay. Which Wisconsin city would I travel through first following that route? Is it Beaver Dam, Fond du Lac, or Bristol?
Ooh, that's a tricky
Fond du
question.
Lac.
No.
It doesn't look like that one's going to work out. That's a Bristol.
Bristol, which is the sneaky, because everybody would think Beaver Dam. I thought you'd say Columbus, but Bristol before
Bristol's
Columbus
even
on the way to
before
Beaver
Columbus,
Dam.
right.
And then
Yep.
Fond du Lac, if you go through Rosendale, you even go through Fond du Lac.
Yeah, but you
That's
got to
true.
go through
You don't have to go through.
Waupun.
You don't have to go through Wausau.
Waupun is between.
Yeah, but Wausau's up north.
Yes, I.
All
Well, I only drive up 41, so I don't go on 150.
41 would get you through Fond du Lac.
I don't want to be whatever. Bristol is where the Renaissance Fair is, down by Kenosha.
No, well, there's
also a Bristol. There's
It's
also a
East
Bristol.
East Bristol is the one over by Columbus and Sun Prairie.
I've never heard it called East Bristol before.
Oh, so you butchered it.
Yeah, I guess so.
You
See,
Jessied it. Now what?
Fond du Lac's still after Beaver Dam, so he still got it wrong anyway.
Thank God. Thank you for your service,
Thank you for
Brian.
being
Thank
so
you, Brian.
wrong.
we're going to have
That's
to look
amazing.
up the trivia rules at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Nobody's even written them.
Nice
I
try.
don't know if that's even.
All right, well.
Try to get this one either right or completely wrong again, so we're in the clear, Brian.
Yeah, I like that. I'm really questioning this at this point, but we'll go with it. Longitudinally,
Ooh, I like it.
which Wisconsin tourist city is the most north? Is it Ojibwa, Iron River, or Mercer?
Between Mercer and Iron River. I'll say Mercer.
Tausch?
But judging by Tyler, I'm going to say Iron River.
Ooh, wrong there, Tausch. It is Mercer.
Well, you fooled me.
I did.
I thought I was going to answer Mercer, and when he said Mercer, you went,
Yeah, well.
good. Well
I
played,
was good
Tyler.
acting, you know.
Grab that drama. Well done.
There's a lot of
What
tourists
is Mercer
in
next to? Is that Rice Lake? Is that region?
I'm not familiar with Mercer's work. I think they're a Big South team in the NCAA
I was just
tournament.
going to say that. Well done, Jesse.
Yep.
Not
I know
so.
there's loons up there.
Loons.
Not so well done, Jesse. From what I am finding in my Google searching,
No.
East Bristol is an unincorporated community in the town of Bristol in Dane County.
Tyler is right.
Also, the Bristol Renaissance Fair is not located in Bristol or East Bristol. It is located in Kenosha.
Then what's Bristol down in? Because I searched Bristol on Apple Maps here, and the first thing that comes up is down there.
There's some places that have the same name.
How many Bristols can one state have?
Well, it seems like at least two.
I don't know
I
why
think I'm
it's
justified here.
I think you owe Tyler an apology.
I believe you do.
No, I'm going to go down swinging.
Okay.
All right, Jesse's going to keep looking into that, Brian. Just so we're all on the same page, though, you got 2 out of 3 right. I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, Mercer was correct.
Okay.
Bristol is a village in Kenosha County. It was incorporated in 2009 from portions of the town of Bristol.
Okay. It also is near Sun Prairie and before Columbus.
We have 2 Bristols.
There might be more Bristols.
There could be.
Seems confusing. What is the zip code? Brian, the bottom line
I had
is
it wrong either way.
thank you for being so wrong. You do have 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
That was a
fun.
ride.
That was fun.
That was a great ride.
Tyler, how do you think you did?
Pretty good. By the way, the zip code's 53532 for that Bristol.
You idiot. Iron River's north of Mercer.
What a friendship.
So I'm correct.
No way.
So I got it right. All right. I feel better about it. What are you going to do now? You giving old boy his extra entry or not?
You had 2 wrong? No.
What are you, Jesse?
This is some subterfuge by Jesse here. He's trying to make me
It
look
is
bad.
not.
He definitely wants you to make more mistakes than him. There's no
100%.
doubt.
100% he does.
So is Mercer or Iron River more north?
Ian and East Troy. Iron River's north of Mercer. Dave and Aaron. Mercer is near Hurley. I just looked it up.
Hurley's way up north.
Hurley
Okay.
is way up north, but I've got it right. Now,
if you
again,
look at the latitude and longitude, maybe you should look at that because the Earth isn't flat. So you have to when you spread that out, Iron River is I see where Iron River is. Yep,
it's pretty north.
It's pretty north, but if you look at the longitude and latitude, I'm accurate.
So you're standing by your question.
When you say longitudinally, not most north city, as the correct answer.
You know what makes me laugh most about this? Jesse is going to have to figure this out.
I'm going to be the one that has to look it up.
So
And
you're never invited back.
This was a
This is
raging
perfect.
success now.
I actually feel really good about this, and it's kind of just get to walk in here, do what I need to do, and just leave.
And you dropped off Bubbler.
And I got to
It's a
drop
win
off
for us.
Butler, and it's a good time.
Tyler, thank you for delivering on trivia. Whether the questions were right, wrong, or indifferent, this was something different, and we enjoyed every minute of it.
Yep, and it's all Jesse's fault anyway. So.
When in doubt, that is our default setting. Jesse is right now hunched over his keyboard trying to look this stuff up.
Like it must be very close then on the degrees of longitude.
It must be. All right. Well, speaking of things that are getting closer, I know we've been talking about it a lot lately, and we had Ben Brust on earlier in the week. That's because we want you to make sure you get your tickets now for June 26th. Mark it off on your calendar because you remember the moments from that magical March in 2015. Frank Kaminsky leading the charge for Bo Ryan and the Wisconsin Badgers in that run to their championship. Well, you can relive it all with Made 'em Believe on June 26th. Join Frank, Sam Decker, Bo, and more for an intimate night at the Orpheum Theater in Madison to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. That's uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison, presented by a variety of great partners, including M3 Insurance. So be sure to go to uwhoops2015.com.
I just got a text from my boy Tej, and he said Iron River's in Michigan.
There is an Iron River Village in Wisconsin.
Is there an
I did find there is an Iron River, Wisconsin.
And is that the one that's
TJ
further north?
It's in Bayfield County. So there's also thank you
So
to.
there's 2 Iron Rivers.
There are, but at least they're in different states, not like Bristol, which is both here.
I still think we should annex.
If we're doing north-south also, dummy, it's latitude north-south, not longitude. That's east-west. So you asked the wrong tudinally.
That's actually even funnier.
And Iron River is at 46.56, which is further north than Mercer at 46.16.
So the question was answered incorrectly.
I have Iron River at 46.09. Actually, and Mercer at 46.16.
Well, which atlas are you looking at? I mean, now we have to come down to which is the more credible atlas.
Is that the metric system, Atlas?
Get him off the air.
You put me on here.
Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 4/30/2025.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck & Honey's. Make your Easter celebration one to remember. Spring into this holiday season at Buck & Honey's. Their award-winning restaurant offering seasonal dishes, handcrafted cocktails, and exceptional service. As you gather with loved ones this spring, don't forget to plan ahead for Mother's Day. Treat mom to an unforgettable meal in a warm and inviting atmosphere. Celebrate great food and great company this Easter and Mother's Day. Make your reservation today at their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb. We'll see you at Buck & Honey's.
Spring is here, and Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison is celebrating with two fantastic promotions: Rollover Jackpot and Super Picks. Every Tuesday in April will be our Rollover Jackpot drawings. The jackpot grows by $500 with each drawing until a winner is found. And on Saturday afternoon, April 26th, is Super Picks, where 21 winners will each go to the big punch board to reveal a prize up to $5,000. That's over $100,000 in possible cash prizes in one day. April brings so many ways to win at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Brought to you by Verizon. Experience the draft in Green Bay with a Road to the Draft sweepstakes powered by Verizon. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for official rules and details.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world, cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes, cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to
You are an idea, man. I just saw a brilliant idea come from ideation to, well, not execution
Yeah,
yet.
it's definitely not executed yet, but
That's a great.
we'll see.
You're a machine. Speaking of machines, Jesse's a content machine, usually, but not always during Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
on Wilde and Tausch.
I appreciate everyone in the YouTube comments and on the text line asking, how do Tyler and I ever get anything right at trivia?
It's a great question.
Great question.
Do you guys fight a lot about it and like who got it wrong and who swayed who on when you guys are golden geese in it, or are you guys a uniform team?
There is a lot of finger pointing when one convinces the other to switch from the right answer to the wrong answer.
I can see that.
So if you just get it wrong, like you get it wrong. But when it's like you have it and then the other person says, no, I know it's this, and then they're wrong, that's when chaos ensues.
Yeah, it can get irritating.
Do you call him?
Nelly!
Do you guys call each other dummy and idiot regularly, or was that a special thing just for the audience?
That's what friends do.
Okay, just wanted to know.
Milwaukee Bucks, winners last night, 24-point fourth quarter deficit. They come back. That is the largest fourth quarter comeback in something I've never heard of before. The NBA play-by-play era, which began in the 1996-97 season.
Was there no play-by-play before 96?
I think it's a stat thing that they didn't, like, you know how like ESPN even has like the...
I hear play-by-play.
No, where they have a computer, like our friend Dennis Semrau works the scorers
The
table
stats
at
crew,
Badger
yeah.
games on the stat crew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they gave out or kept the actual play-by-play of the game until 1996.
That's not how I read it.
Wilt Chamberlain might have had a comeback better than that, but
Right.
it's not on record.
Not
They
play-by-play like calling the game like Matt LePay
Well, that's
does.
what you're saying, though.
No, the play-by-play sheet has the list
That's
of all
not,
the
you didn't say
plays.
sheet. Nobody said sheet. What, did you say sheet?
I did not say sheet.
Okay.
No.
If somebody says, hey, that's awesome, you guys got the play-by-play, it doesn't mean somebody's firing sheets at you. It means your station
You have
has
an
the
angry
play-by-play.
tone on this one.
Well, because that doesn't make any sense.
It made sense
I
to
want
me.
sensibility. I don't think that's crazy to ask.
Well, okay. I understood what that meant.
When you said play-by-play, I thought 60s is what I thought.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, you believe in the Bucks, Tausch?
No.
5 in a row they've won. Going to be the 5 seed.
Bobby's back.
I think the Bucks possibly could get to the second round. I do not think the Bucks are going to win in the second round, regardless if they play Cleveland or Boston. I don't.
Are you concerned that they won't even win the first round?
Yeah, I think that if you're asking me what's more likely, it's a first-round exit.
First round exit or second round victory?
Yes.
Which one's more
that's
likely?
how I guess I didn't frame that the same way you didn't frame the
Play-by-play
play-by-play
era.
Yes. I don't think it is very likely that they get out of the second round, and I think it is not very likely, but likely that they get knocked off in the first round.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
I was listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly
You agree with
yesterday.
Homer that you probably need to get down to 5 serve? Because if what I just said happens, and they don't get Joker in that trade, I get very nervous that this...
You think this is it for Giannis?
I hope not, but...
You don't think it is it, but you're concerned that it could be it.
I hope that it's not.
Mhm.
But for the first time in forever, all of those other rumors, at some point you have to look at this thing big picture and say, we ain't getting younger. Is this team going to be better? And you start looking around the landscape. I can understand why people would look at it and say, it's going to be tough with this roster and with the no draft picks and where everything is. How are we going to get better? We just made trades that we thought were going to get us better, and I don't know, are we better?
Yeah, these are all fair questions. I'm going to choose to believe that Giannis is committed to staying and seeing this through and coming out on the other side, whatever that's going to look like. But I better safe than sorry. I don't know how many home games are left on the schedule, Jesse, But
I know there's a game against Detroit at home. I think there may be 2 home games left, and then obviously playoffs.
They've got New Orleans on Thursday night at Fiserv Forum. That one was rescheduled,
They're
I think,
tanking.
from the snafu with the weather earlier in the season.
Oh, wait, didn't they just have one in New Orleans that was rescheduled?
Yes,
also,
they did.
so they had 2 games with New Orleans that were rescheduled?
Well, maybe this one was the one that stayed the same. I don't know. But
Okay.
they do close this. So New Orleans Thursday night, and then they close the season hosting the Pistons noon on Sunday.
There you go.
And then at least 2 playoff
Season's
games.
over on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then the play-in tournament middle of next week, and then playoffs start the following weekend.
Oh, that's fun. All right.
Whoa, Nelly!
That first round takes like 6 weeks. They stagger those games like 4 or 5 days.
Not wrong.
I heard Jason on Jim, Matt, and Molly yesterday afternoon, weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN Madison. They asked you about the Masters.
Yeah, hate it. No interest whatsoever.
You hate the Masters.
I do. Don't like it. Don't enjoy it. Don't understand why everyone is always so aflutter about it. I know it's a beautiful course. I know it's a historic tournament, but I don't see why it's so much more than the U.S. Open or the
So
British
you hate
Open.
Lambeau? Because it's the Lambeau of golf.
Oh, I
It's
didn't know
literally
that-
the exact same
I
thing.
didn't know Lambeau didn't let women and people of color into it for a long time.
Way to kill it.
Whoa, Nelly!
I'm just not a fan of it.
Ooh.
All right. Wow. You want to start breaking that stuff down.
I didn't actually. I didn't want to break
you
it down at all.
obviously did. Break it down. Why don't you go
didn't.
back into the 20s? Start breaking stuff down.
Break down the 20s
Yeah,
with the Packers?
Sure.
I'll check the.
Write an article about that. Whoa, Nelly. I think. Yeah, I mean, the Masters is great. You could sit there and yes, but from a historical standpoint and the beauty of it, and the pageantry, and there is no. It is the cathedral of golf, just like Lambeau is the cathedral of football. And yes, you can start going after all of the historical things, and that's your right to do. But strictly from watching it this weekend, I think Sunday dramatically is about as good of a sporting event as you could possibly hope for. There's storylines everywhere. You have to go out and deliver. And it's you that does it. And you see people choke. You see people rise up. You see Jack do it in 86. You don't get that in team sports. That's why it's beautiful.
What about when the U.S. Open is always on Father's Day weekend and guys with their dads or their children when they win it? I prefer.
It's at 100 different courses.
Right. So what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Can't wait for you to break down the ancestry of all those courses, too.
I learned earlier this week one of my other friends watches a YouTube series of just random people who go and play mini golf against each other. Would you watch professional golfers playing mini golf against each other?
No. God, no, I wouldn't.
Well, that I might watch. What's their history of all the mini golf courses?
Whoa, Nelly!
Remember when you said you wanted this to be a good show when you're in person together?
It's never is.
It had a decent stretch.
Why? Just because
Can't wait for your podcast on breaking down all of the
just answered the
injustices of
question.
different sporting events.
Well, you compared it to Lambeau Field.
It is the Lambeau Field of golf. Yes. So, like, Notre Dame is the Lambeau Field of college football. Yankee Stadium would the old Yankee Stadium would have
Well,
probably
they don't
been
even use that one anymore. So what's the Lambeau Field of Major
Fenway,
League Baseball?
probably.
Fenway or Wrigley?
Fenway or Wrigley.
Mm-hmm.
What's the crappiest old stadium in football? Because that'd be Wrigley.
Well, Cleveland's used to be, but that was a long time ago. They're going to have 3 stadiums by the time that's all said and done. So,
what?
Well, they had the old dump that Bernie Kosar played at. Now they have this whatever they're doing now, the mistake by the lake or whatever this one's called, and now they're building a brand new dome. So it'll be 3 stadiums.
Are they building a dome? Have they gotten that passed?
I've seen the renderings. I guess I don't know if it's official or not.
Still waiting to see where Chicago puts their football stadium. All I know is that we have been spending our entire day, because we're not in a Verizon store, but they are a great partner, and we're very excited about their presence at the draft. Verizon is the official 5G network of the NFL. Not only that, but they've got their draft experience in Green Bay from the 24th through the 26th. So be sure you're going to want to check that out, undeniably. On top of that, you will have your chance to be treated like a first-round pick in the Verizon Lounge on Thursday, the first day of the NFL Draft. If you head to your local Verizon retail store and register for your chance to win, you got to do it by April 13th. So you've got 4 days to do it, so make sure you do that. It includes round-trip car service from Milwaukee and a hotel stay. Verizon is also partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years. That is Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. We'll wrap things up mercifully next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin, powered today by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. Visit Verizon at the Draft Experience on April 24th through 26th in Green Bay.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Pepsi, official partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft. Have you tried Pepsi Zero Sugar yet? I have. It's amazing. It tastes like all the great Pepsi you've had before, but zero sugar, 0 calories, all the great flavor, perfect as a tailgate mixer or just on its own. And if you're getting ready for the draft, how good is Pepsi Zero Sugar? Pepsi's bringing back the Pepsi Challenge at the 2025 NFL Draft Experience in Green Bay. Check it out when you're up there for the draft in 2 weeks. Pepsi, proud partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. Draft day on the horizon. ESPN's Mel Kiper stopping by Wilde and Tausch, breaking down the draft class. The longtime analyst with his thoughts on multiple Badgers, including Hunter Wohler. So Mel, where could the Muskego safety land?
I think he goes day 3. Just depends upon whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th round area. I liked him at Wisconsin. Obviously, a really good player. He tackles well. He's got a chance in the NFL. We thought Jim Leonard come out of his program, and there we gave him a shot. Look what Jim Leonard developed into. Overall, I think you look at where Wohler will go. I'd like to say somewhere mid to late day 3.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella Windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to VintageBrewingCompany.com to make a reservation today. That's VintageBrewingCompany.com.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You are listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. Presented today by Verizon. Together for veterans, Verizon has partnered with ForgiveCo to eliminate $3 million in veteran debt across Wisconsin over the next 2 years.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt, dancing around that.
All right, I'm still not sure if I understand where the Cleveland Browns Stadium stands. It appears they're still pursuing it, but the legislature in Ohio is still debating the $600 million, which is half of the $1.2 billion it'll be requiring to get done, are being passed. I am curious. The Packers obviously play in historic Lambeau Field.
Who do you think is going to win the Masters this weekend?
Whoa, Nelly! So, are you getting questions for the unlikely event that people don't have questions tonight that you are going to bring to the...
Not really.
You didn't get any? You brought that up at the start of the show. You got nothing?
Oh, I haven't looked. And I didn't put it out there. I didn't tweet anything. So, no, I don't have anything.
We do have some on the text line.
Oh,
they did
can you print those out, and then I'll take those over in case that's what happens tonight.
Eric in Green Bay, softball question, but I'd like to hear about post-retirement plans. Does he intend on being involved?
He's going to run that golf course. He's going to turn it into Augusta National. Up there in Door
Who's
County.
going to be allowed to play there?
The Lambeau of golf courses.
Not me, I'm guessing.
Does he intend on being involved with the Packers in some capacity, or is he moving on from football altogether?
I would guess that he'll get like an emeritus status and have like a small office like tucked away, but
like Bob did that he never used.
Yeah, I think it's really tough. Once you're done, I think it's kind of like players. They kind of are like, all right, the new era steps in. So I would think probably not.
I like this. Tausch isn't necessarily going to use any of these questions. He's just answering them as if he was Mark Murphy.
Yeah. And make sure you print these out just in case that happens tonight.
We covered a lot of ground in today's show. I'm realizing some of the text that I'm seeing.
Because now you're reliving the show during the course of the scrolling through the text chain?
If family movie night is Wedding Crashers, then listening to Sabrina Carpenter with your kids isn't that much different.
That's a fair thought when it was brought up.
That is a very fair point.
Tyler was looking up the Iron River, Michigan latitudinal coordinates when he was...
Is that what happened?
I believe that is what happened here, yes. Because
what are the odds? He just pulls up Iron River, it shows Michigan, and it's actually Wisconsin, and that actually is a little bit further north.
Mailman Matt, my daughter lives in Bristol, Kenosha County. Mercer, definitely up near Hurley, north.
Would you say that the most responses you got on the old carbless talk and text line is Tyler?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm certainly glad it wasn't after the last segment. So
Daniel the landscaper,
for that.
You're going to have to clean this one up for Mark Murphy. I would ask him, why do you think it's better to stay relevant in the league year after year rather than making a splash, whether it's in the draft or free agency, just one time go get a championship?
Yeah, okay. We'll make sure we get that one asked.
It's on your short list.
Yes.
Is there a way to ask that that's not so
I think all you do
awful?
is you can always spin things by just saying fans are frustrated. It's been 15 years. Do you think that this formula But I mean, the problem is I have to kind of agree with it unless it's coming directly from somebody. I can't ask it in a secondhand nature.
A lot of people
think. And then what you should always do is say, well, who are those people? And then I'll say Eric in Green Bay or Dan in Brothertown. That's what I could.
I'm not sure what Dan in Brothertown did to get thrown under the bus. You could just say me, because that won't change my relationship with Mark Murphy. All right, so you're ready for today.
I don't know if I'm ready, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll be there. Not sure how ready I am, but I'll be there.
You'll be ready.
I try to be a gamer.
He's doing that thing where he looks at me like I need to get him ready.
First off, if I'm ever banking on that, I'm not going to even get into that. I'll be ready.
Dynamite finish to the show. That's it for us today. We'll be back in our normal places tomorrow.
That's good.
Thank God. I'll be live
from
Augusta National. That's
I am actually.
That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.